The NLL and Comcast Arena would like to remind fans that anyone who uses objectionable or undesirable language consumes alcohol. To high-five the Stealth.
National Lacrosse League action tonight. You guys ready for a Washington Stealth victory tonight? That's what I'm talking about. Bring the noise for 60 minutes. This game is huge tonight. The winner might have first place locked up in the West Division right now. So we need you to bring it hard. You know the boys are going to be bringing it hard down here on the field. You guys bring it in the stands. Let's have a good time tonight. Bring the energy, bring the noise, and bring the boys home to a W. Let's go.
Number one or still number one and with a bullet. It's a first place Western Division battle at the exact midway point of the season. Welcome to the Pacific Northwest lacrosse fans. It's the Washington Stealth and the Calgary Roughnecks live from Comcast Arena. This is the National Lacrosse League on the Lacrosse Network. My name is Brad Challoner alongside legendary goal-scoring wizard Mr. Kevin Alexander. The Rambling Roughnecks are playing their third straight game away from Calgary and are looking to head back to Cowtown with a two-game cushion under their first place belt. They are 5-3 at the midway point. With a win at home tonight, the Washington Stealth would jump into first place, which is a world away from where they were at this time last year. They are 4-4. The first meeting of 2013 for the Western Division rivals and their first of 3 meetings over the remaining 8 games of this season. Each game will have massive home floor playoff implications, and it all starts right here tonight. 2 words coming into this game, Kevin. Inconsistent is the label the Washington Stealth have on them right now. They're a different team each and every week. What do the Washington Stealth have to do right here tonight to look like the team that shut down John Grant Jr. and dismantled the Mammoth 2 weeks ago?
Well, when you're playing the Calgary Roughnecks, you got to play 60 minutes of hard, solid, basically error-free lacrosse. They're one of the class teams of this league, and every night you play them, you got to come to play the full game, or you're going to put yourself behind the 8 ball.
The it word for the Roughnecks this week has been discipline. They gave up 9 power play goals in the 17-12 loss in Toronto, and then gave up 4 more the next night against Minnesota. Kermalowski said that he needed to address the discipline. How do you address discipline without just saying to your players, don't take stupid penalties?
Well, knowing Kurt Malosky, at times he'll just sit people, and he's a believer in the fact that if guys aren't doing what you ask of them and they don't want to play it your way, he'll just put you on the bench and you'll sit and watch. And it's funny how fast you can instill discipline with that technique. Other than that, they're a confident team. They go out there and they play hard. They have a good power play and short man team. So specialty-wise, normally they're not afraid of a few penalties, but you can't take a whole lot in this league.
They've been shorthanded 68 times so far this season. The next closest team is Buffalo. They've been shorthanded 44 times. First meeting between these two teams, and the first of 3 down the stretch. Kevin, these Roughnecks, how do they look different from the team that beat Washington 3 times out of 3 last year?
They're not a whole lot different. They've made a few changes, mainly at the offensive up front there with Reciteras, Dinsdale, and Decker, I believe. So not a whole lot of changes. 3 guys up there that don't play regularly, don't play all the time. So not a lot there, but they were a solid team before, and now they got another year's experience, and they're still a solid team.
If this is a team that's struggling with discipline issues, can the Stealth play a game where they're just trying to goad Calgary into taking penalties?
Well, you can at times. It requires smart possessions. You got to, when you have possession of the ball, you got to work them on offense, work them hard, make them play some aggressive defense, and try to frustrate them to some extent. Whether they fall into that kind of game, it's hard to tell. If things go your way early, you get a few early breaks, get a few early goals ahead. I think we can expect to see a bit of a rough game. It might even at times be a little bit chippy. And if you can get them into that kind of game, that's not so bad, as long as you're not the one receiving more penalties than they do.
Reese Dutch mentioned in the conference call this week that planning and preparation have been a big factor for Washington, and it's so much different when they're on the road and when they're at home. When guys are showing up and meeting in the hotel room and planning, and how you prepare a game is so much different between the two. Have they done their homework tonight?
Well, you like to think you've always done your homework. I can tell you that as a coaching staff, Chris Hall and Artie and Dan, that they do their homework, and the players, their obligation as well to do a little bit of homework on their own. I mean, there's lots of video, there's lots of game tapes and that sort of stuff, and the coaching report goes out for them to look at, and they're responsible for having a look at that, so that when you do have the limited time that you have together, that it is well spent and most of that stuff is already planted.
Always one of the biggest storylines, if not the biggest storyline, when these two teams meet is in the face-off circle. The game's 2 best brothers, Jeff and Bobby Snyder, going head-to-head. Jeff is number 1 right now in face-off wins and loose balls. Bobby's right behind him at number 2 in both categories. These teams plan on playing with almost always winning the ball off the draw. So when they go head-to-head tonight, and the teams are probably going to go closer to 50-50 rather than the 70 or 80% that both teams are used to, does that change the personnel on the floor, your loose ball getters? Does that change anything off the draw?
I think knowing the way Calgary plays, they'll start the way they always start. They like to play with their offensive guys out on the early face-off. They may have Dixon, they may have Schattler up on the offensive line, and see how it goes. They have lots of confidence in Jeff, and so they should, but I can tell you, we have lots of confidence in Bob out there. He's just as good and better on many evenings.
Yeah, your opening lineups are a lot different. You just mentioned that. You look at the Calgary side, they're going to start the game with Sean Evans, Dane Doby, and Jeff Schattler on the floor. And Washington's going to counter that with mostly defensive-minded guys. But, Bucktooth and Cliff Smith are your O guys out there. But Bobby Snyder, Justin Salt, and Matt Beers are the guys that are going to try to fend off Doby and company.
Yeah, and that's just the difference in philosophies, right? I think they would like to get off to an early good start, being on the road, and that's why they would do that.
Pause here for the national anthem and come and break down this game. You're watching the Stealth and the Roughnecks on the Lacrosse Network.
True patriot love in all the sun's command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true north strong and free. From far and wide, O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, the Star Spangled Banner performed tonight by the Lake Stevens High School Band under the direction of Neil Proff.
Brad Challoner and Kevin Alexander with you, Comcast Arena. You can find me on Twitter at LaxCaster and send any questions, comments, concerns our way throughout the game, and we'll do our best to answer any of your questions while this game goes on. Throw some numbers at you. The first two times these teams met last season in the face-off circle, older brother Jeff won in the first game 63% to 37. And then the second game, Bobby tightened up a little bit. It was 55-44. And the third time these two teams met last season, Jeff Snyder wasn't playing. Bobby went against Nolan Hevner and won 92% of the draws they took that game. Just insane. And Kevin, Jeff Snyder wasn't even really supposed to be in this game. He was suspended this week for an elbow he laid on Tyler Haas in that win in Minnesota last weekend. He's appealing the suspension, so he's in the lineup tonight. But everybody who saw that elbow, pretty blatant, probably going to be overturned, the appeal. So why play in this game when you know the suspension most likely will get appealed and take a game in maybe a week or two that might be more important that he's going to have to sit out of?
Well, in that particular circumstance, I think I probably would have done the same thing. You just kind of answered your question when you talked about the face-offs and the percentages, and when you talked about Nolan going against Bobby Snyder, the percentages were real high. So if in fact you did not have Jeff taking the draw tonight, they would probably be looking at a larger deficit in the loss column just because of the matchup. So I think they want him to be taking some faceoffs, and it's probably not a bad idea.
So they'd rather take their chances without him against Edmonton or Minnesota or the next two games.
Yeah, I think when you got the two premier face-off men, if you got to have your best against their best, or they're already going to start with. If that was the case, they'd probably have defensive guys out there on the face-off right now.
Tyler Richards to my left, Mike Poulin to my right. Referees Todd LeBranch, Keith Gongay in the score clock, and Greg Hart on the floor.
I think we probably got two of the premier refs in the league tonight, so I look for a good game from those two as well.
Scratches for the Calgary Roughnecks, Pete McFettridge, Jackson Decker, and Aaron Pascus. Though we might check that because Travis Cornwall was wearing a suit on the bench, and I don't see him on the bench right now either. So one of those guys might actually be in. Scratches for Washington, Kyle Buchanan, Justin Pitchell, and Chris McElroy. Roughnecks will get the first offensive possession of this game. And it's Sean Evans, the Leeds' leading scorer, tries to thread a pass inside for Ranger, and it's dropped. But a pass is picked off, no over and back call. The Calgary Roughnecks will get to keep it and get a fresh clock. Dobie will scoop it into the offensive zone, and the Roughnecks will go to work. Undefeated in this building are the Roughnecks, 5-0. And with so many BC boys on the lineup, a lot of friends and family in the barn tonight, and almost like a home game for the Roughnecks of sorts. As the Stealth will pick up a ball in transition and head up the floor. Hodgson will fire and is blocked on the way through by Ranger, who's back for a shift on D. Delayed penalty coming up as Hodgson rings one off the post. And the Stealth will get an early power play. No, it's Molesky going to the box. Scratch that. The Roughnecks will get the first power play of the game.
Interesting call. Todd LeBranch with Jeff Molesky with a slash on the stick. He was just going for a loose ball, and I think it was, I'm not sure, might have been Ranger's stick that he slashed. And that's typical Todd LeBranch. He likes to set his pace early, what he's going to call out there, and he generally he tries to make an early call, trying to show everybody out there who's in charge.
League's best power play at 62%. Going to work, quarterback by Dane Dobie. Here comes the cycle. Evans with the ball down low. Back up top of the zone. Pass back down Evans. Inside, Dobie jump shot. And Richards gets his first taste of rubber tonight. Sorensen in transition with Ratcliffe. Sorry to the net shot. Poulin makes his first save on the other side. Now McBride. Dobie's caught all alone up the floor. Dobie over the net. Lucky break for the Stealth there, as one of the best snipes in the game was left all alone behind the play.
Wow, large, huge reverse transition there. Dane Dobie just hung back, and all the Stealth went up the floor or off the floor, and he was wide open, and we won't see too many of those from him.
Stealth will try to kill some time off the clock now. 1:08 left in the penalty to Jeff Molesky, his first game back after missing 4. The Roughnecks power play will try to get out of their own zone and set this thing up again. Scott Ranger, Dobie, Shatler, Evans, and Curtis Dixon. Every one of those players a dangerous Ranger shooter. Now Ranger to Dobie. Ranger will play the point this time. Dobie to his left. Ranger to Evans. He's open. Back to Dobie. Shot off the crossbar. And all the way across center, all the way down to Pooley.
So pretty good movement with the Roughnecks power play here. They're just dragging and passing, and they're looking for the open man.
Ranger, Dobie fires again. Richards, another shoulder save. As the Stealth struggle to get it out now, and the Roughnecks pick it back up in a fresh clock. 20 seconds as Ranger looks up at the clock. Ranger shoots that time, though, yet doesn't make its way through. Richards looks for the Lucy, and it's at his feet. Now Sorensen looks up the floor. Hits Iannucci at center. Molesky will come back on and run across to the bench, gets the offensive players out. Spears falls awkwardly on the way through, and again, the Roughnecks try to sneak up the floor. This time Molesky's out of the box and able to break up the play. 3 minutes gone, no score from Comcast Arena. The Stealth and the Roughnecks, first place on the line in the West Division. Iannucci against McBride, drops a hand, fires high, wide, and the loose ball is picked up by Manning. Dr. Manning gets up the floor. Tries to get a ball ahead for Harnett. It's knocked down in the loose ball battle in the Stealth zone. Behind the net, Garrison gets a paddle on it, and he'll make his way up the floor to get a round of applause from the Stealth faithful. Tyler Garrison hits Dutch the trailer, his first real offensive rep tonight. Dutch dangles around McRae, scoop pass back, but Garrison wasn't ready for it. Now Dutch gets a Lucy. McMichael wasn't ready for that one. It's over his head. Now Harnett picks up the loose ball and heads back the other way. McRae across center. Hands off to the offense, goes for a change. Dixon to Resiteritz. Resiteritz, far corner. Daryl Veltman. He's looking for a pass. He has Dixon. 12 seconds on the shot clock. Pick set for Dixon. Looks across the floor. Hits Shatler's sidearm shot. And Richards makes another save on that one as Hodgson looks up the floor. Good job keeping them to the outside there.
So Calgary putting a little bit of pressure on offensively when the ball gets turned over, giving the Stealth a little bit of difficulty in clearing the ball.
Iannucci pass behind the net for Smith. Back in front for Bucktooth. He drops it. And now a loose ball scrum in the corner. Bucktooth's after it. A lot of bodies flying as Chris Smith bumps into Manning. And Manning hits his stride and with wheels gets to center. Good pace of this game so far. Manning the trailer. Dobie bouncer. And a kick saved by Richards. Rebound picked up by Sorensen. He has a man ahead of the play. It's big Tim Henderson, but he can't get Wood on the pass. Now back the other way. Dobie puts on the brakes. Looks for the trailer. It's Jeff Shatler, your 2011 MVP. Big Henderson watches him, and Shatler tries to get around Henderson. Down low to Dobie. Pass far side. Evans shot. And Richards had to fall down and makes the initial save and does a good job of keeping the rebound out of the net too.
So Stealth need a smart possession here. They probably turned the ball over 5 times in the first 5.5 minutes here. And not very good possession. Trying to rush the ball up the floor and just turning it over.
Dutch gets around his mount. Bounce shot. Kick save by Poulin. Rebounds into the corner, but Dan McRae is the first man there. Headman's into Carnegie and the Roughnecks are up the floor. Almost 6 minutes gone, no score. Veltman. Back to Curtis Dixon. A lot of bodies in front. Dixon behind the back pass, but it's a moving pick called on the Roughnecks. And the Stealth will have the ball. 6 minutes gone, no score. Stealth and Roughnecks from Comcast Arena. You're watching the National Lacrosse League on the Lacrosse Network.
Game is a window decal that you will receive if you spend $25 or more at the Stealth merchandise booth. This lovely window decal. So go on over and check out all the great stuff we've got to offer at the Stealth merchandise stands and walk away with a window decal so you can show everybody how much you love the Stealth on your ride. We'd also like to welcome all the fans celebrating birthdays with us today.
Redefine your game with Reebok's new Black line. Reebok Black was designed and engineered for the elite lacrosse player. Reebok's Black line features a lightweight and minimalistic design with carbon light technology, performance-driven, technology-driven, NLL proven. Find all the new Reebok lacrosse gear online at Reebok.com. Almost through 6 minutes of the first quarter, no score. Roughnecks and Stealth. Brad Schellner and Kevin Alexander with you, and the highest scoring offense in the league, Kevin, and it's so balanced. What's the key to defending a balanced attack?
Well, you can't really cheat on too many guys because you're going to get burnt. Calgary does a great job of finding the open man. They move the ball very crisply. But having said that, the first 6 minutes or so has been pretty sloppy both ways. I'll give Calgary the advantage on a higher quality of shots, but a lot of loose balls and turnovers.
Dean Hill through center, gets caught, passes back to Dutch. 13 on the shot clock. Bucktooth inside, he scores! It's Iannucci. And he's on the board. 1-0.
Nice little inside roll by Ethan Iannucci and one fake and put the ball in the net. It was a high quality shot. And what we're looking for out there early is we want to get a little bit better quality shots. Take away the long ones early and you kind of get to the goalie and his confidence. So mission accomplished there. First real good shot that we've had.
Number 13 on the season for Nooch. Scored 4 against Calgary last year. Dutch and Hill get the assist on the Iannucci goal for you fantasy guys out there. Ball's behind the net. Sean Evans, a one-handed grab. Comes around, has his back to the net. Spin, shoots. Richards a stop. Evans will shoot from anywhere. Back turn to the net, doesn't matter. And Richards was ready. Now stealth up the floor. Iannucci, and here's a penalty coming up to Mitch McMichael in the offensive zone as he laid some lumber to the back of Dane Doby. And Ranger will have some words for the rookie.
I don't think he'll have too much to say. I didn't really get a chance to see that. Todd LeBranch calling a cross-check, so just a bit of a firm pick, and sometimes you get away with that, sometimes you don't. But as a team, generally what you like to do is early in the game, go out, set your picks real hard, real firm, and then you kind of get a feel for what the referee is going to call the rest of the night, and you got to go with it.
So the Roughnecks will head back to the power play again. 0 for 1 so far. Veltman. They got a different quarterback every time. This time it's Daryl Veltman to Evans. To a bounce shot for Veltman, and they score, and they tie it up on the power play, 1-1.
Well, just good ball movement and good shot execution by the Roughnecks. You can't, and we said earlier, you can't be spending all night in the penalty box with this team because you'll find you pick the ball out of the net more often than not. So I've got to play a little bit smarter. You don't like to see those penalties taken on offense. You can't really call any penalty when you have the ball, a good one, so I just got to be a little bit smarter.
Veltman 6th of the year, and Evans gets a point. So Sean Evans gets his 497th career point on that one. 3 away from 500. Schattler back on. And you watch by Hostrauser is back in the lineup after missing last week. For that fight on this floor against Ilya Gaich, the rookie. Hostrauser. Now a loose ball battle in the stealth zone. Jeff Snyder tries to swat it back. And it's picked up by Hostrauser. It tries to get his way out of the zone, but Dixon runs into him with a shoulder. And the Roughnecks will get the ball back. Out shooting the stealth right now, 10-3. Here comes Doby with a big pick on Henderson. Pushes him out of the way. Schattler takes it, now hits Evans. Over to Schattler. Didn't put a lot of mustard on that. Just wanted to sort of lightly place that one past Richards. And he dove out for it, made the stop. And up the floor is Garrison. The trailer's O'Doherty, passes beyond him, but Iannucci's there to pick it up. To Ratcliffe with 16 seconds on the shot clock. Ratcliffe to Dutch to Iannucci, 1-on-1. Against Dinsdale, rings one off the crossbar. With some good hot sauce on that shot by Iannucci, who recognized the matchup against the young rookie Marty Dinsdale. Now Dinsdale picks up a loose ball and looks up the floor, hits Harnett. Harnett hands it off to Doby in the defense for the stealth. Will set up. 3 up top, 2 down low, 5-on-5. Rangers slows the play down. Now the cycle starts. 10 on the shot clock. Evans to Doby. Soft pass to Dixon, but it's off his stick and into the stick of Tyler Richards. But they're going to say it went out of play, I believe, off a stealth stick, so the Roughnecks will keep it.
I think we got a penalty here, Brad. I see Todd LeBranch heading for the box.
Reese Dutch. Must have been coming off the floors. He wasn't on the defensive end at all.
Yeah, he called him on the slash, so maybe as you're running off, sometimes guys give a guy a little shot, and he got caught.
Okay, so 1 for 2 so far, the Roughnecks. And here comes the power play again. Here comes this cycle. All the lefties running around right now. The open man is Veltman. Looks for a shot, hits Ranger. Back to Veltman, behind the back pass to Doby, buries it. 2-1 with the man advantage. Roughnecks on top of the stealth.
So got to stay out of the box. We're not going to go on that one all night long. Other things Stealth are a little bit guilty of is clearing the ball out of the zone. When you pick up the ball, you got to look up the floor, and the other guy and your teammates have got to head for open space. You got to give people an outlet to get the ball out. It's extremely important, especially if you're adjacent, to help the ball carry out. Guys can't just run with their back to the ball, and they're getting pinned in and eating up a lot of time and forcing turnovers. Good pressure by Calgary, but it's got to be counteracted.
Procedure on Jeff Snyder, so Bobby wins the draw. Doby gets his 21st goal in his 7th game. Veltman gets the assist. Now Ratcliffe, top of the zone to Bucktooth. Cycling are the stealth now. Delayed penalty coming up against Calgary as a couple of bodies are down in the offensive zone. Bucktooth falls on top of his man. Play continues, and the Roughnecks will chase a loose ball into the corner, and the stealth power play will go to work for the first time as Curtis Manning will take a seat.
So Todd LaBranche, 2 minutes for holding the stick. Todd LaBranche is watching very closely play off the ball. That's where these calls are all coming from. Guys just trying to get that little extra advantage, a little hold here, a little push there, and that's all it takes. So he's kind of right on top of that. 4th
penalty already. We're at the 5:18 mark of the first. Different look power play here for the Stealth as Bucktooth's going to play the point. He rings that one off the side of the net, back into his own stick. Now Ratcliffe to Dutch. He steps in, laser beam. McRae gets a foot on it, right back to Bucktooth. To Hill, looking for help. Bucktooth fires, and that hit a body on the way through. 5 on the shot clock for Ratcliffe. Hill was the only one who knew what the clock looked like. He tried to place one far side low, and it ends up out of play. 2-1 Roughnecks on top of the Stealth. Iannucci, Veltman, and Doby, your goal scorers. You're watching the National Lacrosse League on the Lacrosse Network. On demand anytime that fits your schedule. Visit youtube.com/the Lacrosse Network. Pretty insane weekend for Curtis Dixon. Last Sunday he scored 3 shorthanded goals in a single game, and now with 6 shorthanded goals on the season, he's 1 shy of tying the NLL's all-time record.
Well, he's a dangerous man out there anytime he's on the floor, shorthanded, full strength, power play, whatever. He's the kind of guy he can go hard to the net, and you got to play him real tough. And he draws penalties if he doesn't get to the net. Just one of those guys you probably better just not let him get the ball.
Can you name the former Stealth player who holds the record for, or the first player to score 7 shorties in 1 year? Currently not in the league.
Seji? I don't know.
Jeff Zawicki.
Oh, there we go.
2008, 7 shorties. And Dixon will look to do that this season at some point. Shorthander right now. The ball is in Curtis Dixon's stick as he goes for a lap of the offensive zone. Through traffic, rings a sidearm shot that Richards bid on. It's out of play off of T. Ridge, so the Roughnecks get to keep it again. Minute 5 left in the penalty to Curtis Manning.
Dixon's just so strong with the ball. He's hard to knock the ball off of him, and he's hard to knock over. So Stealth playing a little bit less aggressive this time on him.
Dixon just can kill time for days as he drops the hand there. Look, 1, 2, 3 Stealth players stalking Dixon right now, trying not to give number 17 an inch. Tries to get over top, takes a sub bouncer, and ends up at center. Garrison has a step on it. Garrison up the floor. Harnett over to greet him, but he wants to get the power play unit out. 35 seconds. Harnett jumps Garrison, and now the Stealth power play will go to work. Garrison and McMichael are the only 2 Stealth rookies that have played in all 9 games. Tonight being number 9. Here's that look power play again with Bucktooth on the top. Now Dutch comes around. Arnett jumps Reese Dutch. Falls down to the ground. Iannucci sub shot and takes a big hit on the way through the zone as well. And that'll probably do it for this Stealth power play.
Well, the first power play out, they moved the ball fairly well. That time I wasn't really impressed with it. You got to get the ball around a couple of touches and then just go into your plays. Draw a man, dump, draw a man, dump. But you must engage your defender to make the power play work.
We're back to 5-on-5. Roughnecks in the O zone. Dane Doby tries to split the defense. Tiptoes the crease. He's in, but LaBranche says, no, you don't. And Sorensen will bump into Doby on his way through.
You know what?
Way inside.
I wouldn't be surprised to see a flag. He didn't. It looked pretty. Didn't look that bad to me.
No. McMichael falls behind the net to Dean Hill. He comes around his screen. Smith back to McMichael. Gets around Hebner. Scoop pass back. And Iannucci's at the top of the zone. Hits Dutch on the far side against Manning. To Ratcliffe. He tries to circle his way inside. Hits the trailer. It's Smith. Drops a hand, takes a pick. McMichael's inside. Nice sub shot by McMichael. Ratcliffe the rebound. And Poulin makes a good stop there. But Mitch McMichael in traffic, able to get quite the shot off. Back the other way, 2:25 to go, first frame. Roughnecks on top of the stealth, 2-1. Veltman has the goal, gets it to Schattler. Now a Ranger. Being watched by Hodgson, goes back to Veltman. Balls to Curtis Dixon, 4 seconds on the shot clock. Evans, bad angle shot as the shot clock expires, and back the other way comes the stealth.
A little better defense there by the stealth. More team defense, a little bit of a zone in there, and Calgary couldn't get the ball inside.
Ratcliffe brings it in. Scoop pass back to Hill. Far side to Reese Dutch. Harnett and McBride double him. Bucktooth drops a pass. And a good pressure defense to push Bucktooth all the way to center with the shot clock winding down. Dutch around McBride to the cage looking for a pass. Quick shot by Smith. Poulin the save. Rebound. And Dean Hill's there for the offensive Lucy. Now Smith. Down low to Ratcliffe. Iannucci, top of the zone to Dutch. Goes over to set the pick. Cliff Smith has the ball at center. He takes a shot. Bouncer wide. Ratcliffe gets the rebound off the wall. And Iannucci's inside. Poulin with a big shoulder stop. As Iannucci was able to sneak in and get a nice pass from Lewis Ratcliffe.
You need those ones have to be buried when you're in the crease all alone. You're one of the scorers on the team. You got to make 9 out of 10 of those ones.
Schattler to Dobie, final minute, first frame. Sean Evans off the bench. Ball's inside, swatted down. Dobie chases after a loose ball. Hostrawser's there as well. They jump by Schattler, but Hostrawser gets the Lucy, and the stealther up the floor. Billy Hostrawser looking for a trailer, has Beers, winds up, and Schattler is able to get back and get a twig on the shot. Now Grimes with an offensive zone loose ball. He'll wait for personnel. A bad line change by Calgary as McMichael is bodied into the corner. McFetridge is tangled up. And they're going to say 8 seconds here, Kevin, and hand it back to Washington?
Yeah, it's a move and pick actually on Andrew
McFetridge.
Yeah, he was just running a moving screen in there.
Final play of the first. 14 seconds on the clock for Dutch and company. Tyler Richards is on the bench with a 6-on-5. Ratcliffe looking for help. Takes a shot, it's wide. And a foot race for it. Ratcliffe got away with an interference call there as the Roughnecks were looking at the empty net. That does it for the first 15 minutes. Great end-to-end action and pretty low scoring. Both goaltenders standing up pretty well through 15. The Roughnecks on top of the stealth, 2-1. You're watching the National Lacrosse League on the Lacrosse Network.
Favorite events here at the Comcast Arena. Here's how it works. We've got 3 pairs of contestants. They're going to do the crab walk, and if you don't know what that is, you're going to find out in a second, and it is hilarious. They're going to start at one restraining line. They're going to go to the other restraining line and back. First team to do that gets dinner for 2 at Anthony's Restaurants. Here's our contestants. Over on this side, we've got Mark and Colton. In the middle, we've got Daniel and Joey. And on the bench side, we've got Hunter and Trent. Are we ready? Cheer them on, everybody. On your mark, get set, go. Hold on, buddy. Help him out, Bomber. Oh, we got a clear leader in the clubhouse right now. Should I stop him? Should I hold him up? Oh, I don't need to. We got a fast one coming on the outside. The winner by a landslide, Daniel and Joey. Bomber is putting some...
March 2nd, 7 p.m. The Battle of Alberta Chapter 3's Edmonton Rush are in town. And special night at the Dome as the team honors the great Caleb Toth. Be there for Caleb Toth Forever a Roughneck, the ceremony. For tickets, visit calgaryroughnecks.com. 4 face-offs in that first quarter, and Jeff Snyder won 3 of them. As him and his brother Bobby battle right now. Jeff Snyder is able to dig it out, but does he get the loose ball? It's swatted back to Manning. And the Roughnecks get the first offensive possession in quarter number 2. Dobie bounce pass far side to Sean Evans, one-on-one against Molesky. Evans takes a shot, laser beam, top shelf. Evans slaps the glass for his second point of the night, 2 away from 500 for the Leeds' leading scorer.
Well, Sean Evans, you can't give those kind of shots to him. Just too high quality lacrosse player. He'll bury a high percentage of those without somebody in his face. You got to jump out on those, jump out on the screens, jump out on the picks. The guy's coming around the top, and he has to shoot through you.
This time Bobby wins one out to himself, and then Jeff falls down as Bobby Snyder drops a shoulder into his brother up the floor. And Bobby Snyder curls into the corner. McBride jumps in as Jeff retreats into the offensive zone. Iannucci gets a pass to Bucktooth. Play slows down. Ratcliffe far side to McMichael. Dodge. Looking for a pass. Hits Dutch. Now Dutch wants to match Evans' shot. This time Poulin's up to the task. Dobie gets an assist on the Evans goal, so he has a couple points already tonight. Now pass is broken up down the floor. McFetridge in for loose ball. I announced him being scratched, but no. Travis Cornwall is scratched. Keep McFetridge in the lineup. And a penalty coming up here, I believe, to the Stealth. The Roughnecks.
Roughnecks with too many men. They had a bad change going on there. He called LeBranch when he got the 6. That was too many. So a big chance here for the power play, get things turned around. These are the opportunities, the chances that you need to take advantage of. Just the score is dictating. The play has been kind of going Calgary's way, and this can kind of turn things around.
Second opportunity for Washington. Again, Bucktooth playing the point. This is a new look for their power play. Behind the back pass to Dutch off the post and all the way down the floor. So what's the appeal of having Bucktooth play the point?
Just have another look. He moves the ball quite well. He has good instincts up there, and he can get back as well.
Iannucci bouncer goal on the pass from Bucktooth. He moves the ball well indeed. 3-2 with the man advantage.
Okay, so a big goal for the Stealth there. Yeah, it gives the power play a little bit more confidence, and that's what they're looking for out there. You're not going to score on all of them, but you like to have good chances and take good shots, and they finally got one in there tonight.
Iannucci's second of the night as he's come alive the last couple of games. 10 points in his last 2. And I'll give him 14 goals on the season. Again, look at these draws. Watch this clock tick down. They could sleep on it right now. And watch the battles between Schattler and Smith. Those are just as interesting as Schattler throwing punches now at Cliff Smith. This draw is going all night long. Here comes a penalty. I believe it's going to be to Schattler unless they want both. Yeah, Schattler's going to get a slash. I don't know what to watch. Do you watch the draw or do you watch Schattler and Smith going shot for shot?
Well, we thought that the game could get a little bit ugly at times, and these teams don't like each other out there. So we'll get those little confrontations from here from time to time, and it's just a matter of you'd like to be the guy that doesn't get caught, and usually it's the guy that reciprocates, and I think that was the case for Jeff Sattler.
Fantastic draw nonetheless. Here comes the Stealth power play again, who just buried one. Bucktooth, the Ratcliffe. Behind the back pass to Dutch, and he fires it and ties it up. 3-3 on the power play.
So that might be one of those penalties that Calgary's trying to stay away from. Kurt Malowski talking about discipline and stuff. That ball was really nobody's ball at the time, and Jeff Schattler, one of his main men in the penalty killing situation, took the penalty.
23rd goal of the season for Reese Dutch. He's now 1 off the league lead. Held by the rookie Mark Matthews. Stealth in transition up the floor. Sub shots, goal! McMichael puts his team up 4-3 in transition.
Pretty interesting circumstances there. Jeff Snyder kind of won the face-off. on a turnover on a whistle, so when they restarted play, he wasn't aware of the player behind him.
And now Jeff Snyder is down on the turf right now.
Well, Jeff Snyder's nobody's fool out there. He does have a sore ankle, but when you get 2 or 3 quick ones in a row, you need to slow down the team without taking a timeout. So he's just going to sit there and relax, hopefully cool down the stealth a little bit here.
So the Stealth back on top for the second time. The rookie McMichael gets his 5th goal of the season, the pride of Port Perry, Ontario. Rookie of the week in week 6, transition player of the week in week 1.
Yeah, Mitch is a good player, smart player out there, and he can play both ends of the floor for us.
And so now, with Jeff Snyder on the bench, Nolan Hevner will take a draw. And an easy win for Bobby Snyder that time. Hevner had to step in Minnesota. Did a good job against Jordan McIntosh. But this is a different beast in Bobby Snyder.
It is. Nolan's no slouch on the draws, though. He's quite good.
Iannucci. McFetridge watching him. Far side to Ratcliffe. Iannucci takes a pass right off the back of Pete McFetridge. And now McFetridge bodies Iannucci in front of his own bench. Iannucci gets out of it. 4 on the shot clock for Dutch. Tries a hard pass across the floor, and it's picked off. And now the Roughnecks up the floor. McFetridge, Iannucci chasing. And he heard footsteps. The shot's high and wide. Now back the other way. Shots now deadlocked, 14 apiece. Ratcliffe goes for a sprint on the right wing wall. Behind the net for Ratcliffe, switches hands. One-handed shot off the post and out of play, and the Stealth will keep it.
So Stealth get the full 30 seconds here on this offensive possession now deep in the Roughnecks, and they need to play smart. Don't do the 50-50 pass. Make the Roughnecks play defense.
Dutch's double team, try to pass back to Bucktooth, and it's over and back, so the Roughnecks will get it. And up the floor and hurries Dinsdale inside, bounce shot, goal! And it'll stand. Marty Dinsdale's first NLL goal, and a big hug from his teammates.
So kind of what we're talking about. We were guilty, turned the ball over. We had 24 seconds left on the clock. Threw an errant pass, picked up, and guys got to react back, got to get back to the hole. Help out T. Rich back there. Clean cut breakaway.
Jeff Snyder back now to take the draw. Marty Dinsdale, 7th overall draft pick this year. 95 points in his final season to lead the BC Junior League as a Willimantic. Played under Miloski in junior. A smart lacrosse player. Now Shatler against Henderson. Hits Ranger, 12 on the shot clock. He's up way high. Now the Roughnecks will move in and try to get another go-ahead goal. Deadlocked at 4. Dixon's the late man out of the gate. Beers watches him. Dixon spins. There's that patented sub shot. The shot clock winds down and it's wide, and the Stealth head back the other way. Iannucci gets his stick up from Carnegie. Now Carnegie breaks out a pass, and here comes the Roughnecks. Iannucci has to retreat. Harnett looking to headman it, and he'll keep it. Harnett far side. McFetridge rings one off the hand of Richards, and the loose ball back the other way. Great transition pace here. So Stealth try to get numbers up the floor. Molesky one-on-one against Hevner. He drops a hand. Molesky, the former Calgary Roughneck. To Ratcliffe. Top of the zone to McMichael. To Bucktooth. Steps in, fakes all the time in the world. And he goes low, and Pooley makes the save. Now McMichael gets the rebound. Gets a stick up from McRae, and a penalty coming up. Richards to the bench. Extra attacker coming out as Dutch tells his players to slow down.
So good possession here. That could be a 5-minute or two, Brad. I think it was a high stick, so we'll have to see what Greg Hart has there.
Now Dutch to Ratcliffe, steps in, bounce shot, wide, still, no, now it's out of play. Now the penalty will come up. Now I get to call a cross check here on McRae. Did look like he got it high up on McMichael rather, as his helmet sort of popped up.
Well, I think that's probably a safe way of still giving the penalty, but if it wasn't real serious, real vicious, they give him a cross check, give him a 2-minute penalty, which isn't real bad.
So the Stealth will go to the power play, tied 4-4, 9:26 to go in the first half. Brad Challoner and Kevin Alexander. From Comcast Arena in Everett, you're watching the National Lacrosse League on the Lacrosse Network.
Meritorious service. Originally from Syracuse, New York, brother of Stealth rookie defenseman number 21, Tim Henderson. Please rise and join us in celebrating tonight's Scuttlebutt Brewing Company hero of the game, First Lieutenant William Henderson. Stealth President David Takata is presenting Lieutenant Henderson with a gift card to Scuttlebutt Brewing Company. Lieutenant Scuttlebutt and the Stealth proudly salute you.
Hero of the game, the brother of Tim Henderson of your Washington Stealth. Henderson, the rookie out of Tully, New York, who played field lacrosse for Army at West Point in a pretty good rookie season, and accentuated by that game he played here where he shut down John Grant Jr. for the whole night.
Yeah, he's a talented kid, a little bit to learn about box lacrosse, but he's fit, highly intelligent, and a good player.
Next Stealth home game is right here next Sunday when the Minnesota Swarm come into town March 3rd. Game time is 3 p.m. the Sunday matinee. For tickets, visit stealthlax.com. Stealth to the power play where they've scored a couple already. Now Ratcliffe takes a shot, Poulin the save. And the Roughnecks will try to kill some time off the clock with Dan McRae in the penalty box.
Stealth have to be careful. Calgary is very dangerous on the short man. They're not afraid to go to the net.
We'll just give the ball to Curtis Dixon. Not on the floor right now. Evans will take a turn. They allowed 15 power play goals last weekend in the 2 games against Toronto and Minnesota. Now Evans spins and falls down on the shot, rolls it into the corner. Now the Stealth power play will get a chance to set up. Penalty kill for the Roughnecks is 4th in the league at 50%. Stealth power play is 6th in the league at 48.5. Iannucci to Bucktooth at the top of the zone, to Ratcliffe, down low to Dean Hill, back to Bucktooth, he has a lane, now he gets it to Ratcliffe's shot. Poulin is slipped behind him, but he got the Argyle mesh out to stop the rolling ball. And back the other way come the Roughnecks. Carnegie with wheels to Doby, bounce pass, and Doby picks it up. 44 seconds left in the penalty to Dan McRae. Now Dixon's on the floor. And he goes straight to the front of the cage. 2 black jerseys automatically flock him. Now Doby's double teamed. Doby still has the ball. Now he drops it as Garrison hacks Doby down to the ground. Loose ball in front of the Roughnecks bench. Dixon's there, but they run out of shot clock time. Molosky arguing that Stealth picked up possession, but they didn't. Iannucci looks up at the clock. 16 seconds for a shot. Bucktooth to Ratcliffe as they work the ball around. Bucktooth, sub-shot goal! Off of the tip of the stick of Poulin into the back of the net. Again, on the power play, it's 5-4.
Nice shot by Brett Bucktooth. You know, the Stealth power plays a pretty good one out there too, and if they let the guys get on a roll, you'll see shots, you'll see goals like that. I think we got 9 goals here tonight. Probably over half of them have been on the power play. It just shows that the specialty teams are so critical here. And if you want to spend time in the box, it's really going to hurt you.
5 of 9 have been on the power play so far. So Bucktooth gets number 7 on the year, 3rd point of the night. The Stealth are back on top for the 3rd time. Back and forth we go. Sean Evans being watched by Smith. Scoop pass back to Ranger. To Shatler, quick shot, and Richards dives over and makes the knee pad save. Smith lumbers across center and barks out orders to his offense as he sees a lane and maybe a mismatch. Ratcliffe against Ranger, who's caught for a shift on D. McMichael's open, he has the ball now. Down low to Ratcliffe. Make that deep. Dutch tries to swim over top of his man, behind the back pass inside. to no one in particular. Ranger's there to pick it off, but he'll be tired for the shift on O as he went up and down and up again. Now Dixon through the middle, switches hands, shot, Richards stops it, and the stealth look up the floor. Sorensen's all alone. Kyle Sorensen, big save by Poulin. The captain is robbed on the breakaway. Interference called on Washington, and the Roughnecks get the ball, 6:14 to go. This has been NLL at its finest so far tonight.
Oh, Roughnecks got away with one there. They had too many men on the floor.
No one picked that one up. Beers puts on the brakes across the line. And they'll wait for help out of the gate. It's McMichael. Dean Hill. McMichael over to set the pick. Draws another penalty, does McMichael. Shot high and wide by Dutch, and the stealth will go back to the power play again. Tyler Richards to the bench. Extra attacker, Iannucci. Dutch fakes the handoff. Dutch still has the ball. Smith wants to slow the play down. Smith to Hill, has a lane. Dean Hill, another soft shot, and Poulin makes his stop. Stealth still have the ball, 6-on-5. Smith steps in, inside for Dutch, bouncer. Poulin makes the stop, falls down on it, and now the stealth will go back to the power play again.
Well, Dutchy'd like that one back. I think sometimes those are the hardest ones in the world to can. You got all kinds of time in the middle, and he really didn't know it, and just turned around and shot a little bit quicker than he would like to have. So Stealth back to the power play here, and they're working the ball quite well, so we'll see the Roughnecks make any kind of an adjustment.
Bucktooth with 3 points already tonight. They've given him the role of quarterback on this power play, and it's played up to his confidence level. He's made some really good plays up there. Bucktooth behind the back to Dutch. Down to the crease to Hill. And that shot goes wide. Bucktooth will keep it onside with 13 on the shot clock. Bucktooth steps in to Iannucci. Iannucci's inside, tries to go upstairs, but it's behind the net as McFetrich falls down onto Nooch. Loose ball into the corner. Snyder tries to get out of his zone. 8 seconds ticking away, but now he gets across the line. Roughnecks shorthanded again. Shatler, Evans, Doby, and no Dixon. You think they'd try to roll out Dixon every time you're shorthanded, but Evans rolls inside. He takes a shot, bumps into Greg Hart, and has some words for the referees. Evans had a straight lane to that loose ball, but Greg Hart got in the way.
Yeah, nice pick by Greg Hart, just as you lay him out.
So Stealth still on the power play for another minute and 10 seconds, up 5-4, 4:21 to go, first half. From Comcast Arena, you're watching the National Lacrosse League on the Lacrosse Network.
SRT, Grand Cherokee.
NLL Radio offers the best online radio coverage of the National Lacrosse League. Just visit NLL.com/radio and check out our lineup of shows. NLL Radio is pleased to be the new online home of Box the Beat, hosted by Steven Stamp of IL Indoor. Visit NLL.com/radio for more information. And Steven Stamp do another set of great interviews this week with Sean Evans and Dane Smith. And Sean Evans will be my guest at halftime in 4 lacrosse minutes. Bucktooth to Ratcliffe, still on the power play. Bucktooth down to the crease to Dean Hill, back up top of the zone to Bucktooth. Dutch! Bounce shot goes wide and out of play, and the Roughnecks will have 52 seconds to kill. And their too many men penalty being served by Marty Dinsdale, their in-home rookie. Shatler into the offensive zone, gets the ball far side to Ranger. Dixon's looking for some space. It's Doby at the top of the zone, 8 seconds. Ranger on the way through. Beers gives him a bump. Ranger wants a penalty. The referees say no. Now Dixon wires one. Richards makes another leg pad save as Dixon bumps into Hodgson, and it kills some time off the clock. Now across the line again, Stealth power play.
Stealth got to be aware of the man coming out of the box. Dinsdale's coming out in 8 seconds, so they don't want to take an early shot and have him breaking away.
Bucktooth tries to get into position. Dutch is inside the zone. Bucktooth buries it!
Well, what we talked about happened, but the ball went in the net, so we'll take those ones. But Timmsdale was just stepping onto the floor as Brett Bucktooth took the shot. But a great shot, a little bit of a screen actually, overhand bounce shot, high to low, and pulled Coolin. Brett Bucktooth moving the ball very well, moving himself very well on the point on that power play, and it's given Calgary a little bit of trouble.
Snyder wants to fire his team up here with a stealther on a 2-goal run. Both goals by Brett Bucktooth, who's showing some versatility. He's been a grinder most of the season so far. 20 loose balls, 4 forced turnovers, but tonight he has 4 points already. Now Evans trying to body his way inside, spins, shoots. Richards makes the stop. Working up the floor, passes over the top of the head of Tim Henderson, but he'll run this one down and look for help off the bench. Smith and McMichael and Dean Hillier lefties. Now Dutch comes out. No one picks Dutch up. Walks around Dixon, but he got a stick on it. Now Iannucci tries to chase down a Lucy. Double teamed. Backs out. Hits Dutch. Shot clock winding down. McMichael. Body down inside. Pass back to Dutch. And that'll do it for the shot clock. As I don't think Dutch, well, you never know with Reese Dutch. Was he aware of how much time he was? I think his teammates just yelled, shoot.
Yeah, no, he wasn't, he didn't know there was only 2 seconds. Too bad, a great shot, but won't go up on the board.
Roughnecks now as Dixon tries this sub shot. Richards kicks it away. Shatler again picks up the loose ball in the offensive zone. Always crucial. Shatler, bounce pass far side, and that buries Resetaritz. Streaking in and a quick stick off the stick of Shatler, and it's 6-5.
You really cannot let that happen. That was weak side, off ball side, just a pass right across the floor, quick stick into the net. Those guys got to be covered a little bit closer than that. You can't have any players running down unmolested on your crease. That's just a miscommunication there.
Give Resetaritz 5 on the year. His brother Frank used to play for the Stealth when they were down in Northern California. Henderson grabs the Lucy and heads back the other way. 90 seconds to go in the first half. Smith bodies his way inside against McBride. McBride laying some tomahawks on the wrist of Smith. McBride's fired up against Cliff Smith right now. There's a shot by Ratcliffe, trickles through the crease, and it ends up with Manning. And the Roughnecks are back the other way. Snyder, pass to Shatler, and a good save by Richards. He was fooled, fell back on it, but it stayed out of the net. It's a good look by Jeff Shatler. Final minute of play. Hodgson brings it up the floor. Grimes to Dutch. Slows this play down as the pace has been fanatical.
So going to be a little bit of time left. Stealth have to really work hard after their shot, see if they can pick up a rebound if there is one.
Dutch to Smith, it's over his head. Manning picks it up. Well, the Roughnecks want a timeout. 37 seconds as Manning gets the ball up the floor. No timeout yet from Molosky and company. Ranger slows the play down. They want a shot maybe in a rebound before the TO. Now they call it. And Kurt Molosky and company will drop a play here with 25 seconds on game clock. And is that a fresh 30 they were just posted?
No, I think it'll be somewhere around 18, 19. Yeah. He'll probably drop a 6-on-5 play, and they'll run it down to about the 7-8 second mark, and then they'll run the player off, I'm thinking, and then put the goalie back in. But like we said earlier, they're dangerous when they're 4-on-5, so if they're 5-on-5 or 6-on-5, I'm sure he's got a fair little arsenal of plays there that he would like to try.
Shots are deadlocked, 24-24. Tyler Richards looked good inside. He hasn't really been tested from an outside bomb by any of these snipers for the Roughnecks tonight, but when they get inside, like most lacrosse players want to do, T. Richards look pretty sharp.
Yeah, T. Rich, well, he's one of the premier goalies in this league, so you kind of get used to those kind of saves from him, and that's a good thing.
Poulin's actually going to stay in, so 5-on-5 with the play here. And I guess if they get a quick shot and get possession again, then he'd head off. 19 seconds on the shot clock, though. 25 on game clock for the Roughnecks. The dying seconds of the first half, down by 1 goal. Now LeBranch blows the play down as he sees something odd on the floor. He wants to get the clock looked at. Keith Gagne, the timekeeper. And they'll share some words and then blow this play in. So we'll keep it the same on the shot clock, still 19 seconds. Game clock goes back to 24. Five-on-five lacrosse. We'll see what Molosky's drawn up here. Now the motion starts. Shatler, Hodgson gives chase to Ranger, who drops the ball, and it gets across center, over and back, and the Stealth will now have 8 seconds, so they want a timeout. Yes, they do, and now Chris Hall will have a chance to draw something up. Do they go 6-on-5, Kevin?
Oh yeah, they'll go 6-on-5. There's only 8 seconds left, so there is a play that actually starts with 8 seconds, so we'll see how that goes. That was interesting there, that the ball rolled back and over, and Sean Evans was kind of guarding the ball, walking stride, running stride for stride over it, while Jeff Molesky was had inklings to pick it up, but he got away with it, so smart play by Sean Evans.
So the Stealth will try to go up by 2 to finish off this frame. Iannucci, Ratcliffe, Smith, Dutch, Hill, and Brett Bucktooth. Let's see what Chris Hall's drawn up now. Smith starts it, brings it in, 8 seconds ticking away. Cliff Smith fires and scores! 2.1 seconds to go in the first half, and the Stealth have put themselves up by 2.
Well, I'm sure that's just as Dan Perot drew it up.
Because that was the play. Cliff Smith walks in and shoots.
So actually, you know what? None of those are bad shots, but when you've got players in front of you, in front of the net, you can shoot the ball. There's 1, 2, 3 players between him and the goaltender, and they're hard to pick up. So as long as you get them on an open spot, you have a good chance.
Bobby Snyder will take one more shot. Cliff Smith gets his 12th goal of the season. 15 points in his first 2 games, and now 15 points in his last 6. So that hot start, but he continues to be pretty consistent as number 27. We'll take a break from Comcast and come back. And Sean Evans will join me, not from the floor or anything like that. I taped the conversation earlier today with Sean Evans, and I will run that for you in a couple minutes here. Talk about 5 things you need to know about Sean Evans. How fast can he grow a handlebar mustache? That's obviously at the top of everyone's 5 things to know about Sean Evans list. We'll talk about his time playing in Peterborough with a lot of the Stealth players, Grimes, Sorensen. I think that 06 Lakers Minto Cup team could probably put that roster in NLL right now and put up a pretty good fight. Vitarelli, Aaron Bold, the list goes on and on. So Sean Evans, the leading scorer of the National Lacrosse League, will join me here in about a minute and a half. You're watching the National Lacrosse League on the Lacrosse Network. Stealth on top of the Roughnecks, 7-5 after 30 minutes. Second half action coming up on the Lacrosse Network. This copyright telecast of the National Lacrosse League Incorporated may not be retransmitted, reproduced, or rebroadcast without the express written consent of the National Lacrosse League.
From Peterborough, Ontario, NLL champion, Minto Cup champion, Mann Cup champion, and the only player in history to win all 3 titles in the same year. He also won a World Indoor Championship with Team Canada in 2011. Sent from the Rochester Nighthawks to Calgary in 2012, where he posted a career-high 79 points and on pace to shatter that this season. The reigning NLL Player of the Month is currently leading the league with 36 assists and 54 points in 8 games. Please welcome from the Calgary Roughnecks, Sean Evans. Evie, how are ya?
Good. Thanks for having me.
Anytime, man. Let's start with tonight's game. First game against the Stealth this season. What's the game plan against these guys?
It's a big game for us. It's a divisional game. Washington's a good team. They're coming off with a win last week. We're coming off a win. So, I think both teams are going to be ready, and it's going to be an exciting matchup. Last year, if you guys remember, it's been a hard-nosed battle. A lot of scrums, a lot of rough stuff going on in the game, and I think it's a big rivalry between the two of us.
So let's get right to the discipline word has been the key word for the Roughnecks this week. Kurt Malosky was throwing it around in the newspapers and on the coaches' conference call. He's saying that the Calgary Roughnecks need to be more disciplined and that he was going to address that this week. What has Kurt done, and what has he told you guys to address the discipline problem you had in Minnesota and Toronto?
Well, that's a big thing for our team. We've been in a lot of trouble or penalty trouble where I think it's cost us maybe one game or and almost 2 games there last weekend. Thank God we held off Minnesota there on their late run, but I think we let them back in the game with penalties. So Kurt has really preached on discipline, and that wins or loses games for us. So I think a big thing is that we have to we can control those penalties, the hard working penalties that we do get, but we got to limit the stuff after the whistle and the stuff that's going to cost us in the long run.
What's the difference between the Kurt Malosky Roughnecks and the Dave Pym Roughnecks?
Well, the thing with Kurt Malosky, he gets you well prepared. He's one of the best coaches I've ever had, and from an offensive point of view, he's got every angle down pat. He's got you running plays, where to shoot on goalies, what's going to work on this team, what's not going to work on this team. So he's got everything that you need to prepare for a game ready. So that's all you can ask for is when you have that as a coach. And with his heart and his playing experience, I've seen him growing up playing, and it's just he brings that to the table, and he's got that winning attitude. So he's a great coach to have, and I'm glad to be playing for him.
5-3, another pretty good start for the Calgary Roughnecks. What's clicking for you guys right now? What's going right?
I think we started off slow this season, but I think after watching our video the first 2 games of the year, we just sort of corrected what we needed to do, and we're just working together. That's our main thing right now is working together. And when we do that, we're a tough team to stop. Like we got Mike Poulin in net, and our defense is holding teams. And then if we look at our offense, we got a very skilled offense. So I think when we start working together on offense and the ball is moving, we're tough to stop. And if you look at the last, maybe not the Toronto game, but we still made 12 goals in Toronto. But the last 4 games, we've averaged probably about 15 to 16 goals.
A lot of guys putting up numbers on that offense, Sean, especially yourself leading the league right now. You could pass 500 career points in tonight's game, and by the time this runs at halftime, you might have already done so. You're only 4 away. What's the secret to longevity in the NLL?
It's just keeping your head, keeping your body healthy, just trusting in your teammates and listen to just listen to what coaches say and what they expect out of you. I think for staying in the league is that kind of thing, is just doing the right things and doing the little things to make your team successful.
You mentioned healthy, and you're one of the offensive forces that's always crashing your body around, always getting into those dirty slots, and it's no secret that defense loves to take liberties on Sean Evans. Sean, you're listed at 5'8", guy that plays a lot bigger than that. How have you handled this size in your career? Has it been an advantage, disadvantage, or what?
Well, you always hope to, you wish that you were 6'6" out there, but I just wasn't born with that height. So I think I got to do other things out there to make up for it. But in the other case, I grew up with 2 older brothers that really pushed me hard. So I just try to go out there and I try to do what I can do and try to, like you said, try to play bigger than I am, and just to do anything that makes my team successful. I try to go out there and I try to prove it to recruit some of those big guys that don't do those the rough stuff. That that this guy is gonna get in there and he's gonna go do the dirty work just to show his teammates.
Yeah. You set a team record last month with 13 points in a game, coming off an 11-point night last weekend in Minnesota. Sean, when you're in the midst of a game like that, are you aware of how many points you're actually racking up, or is it not till you get home and later that night and check out the stat sheet and go, whoa?
I usually look at that later, usually when I get home. Usually when the game's going like that, it just shows you how good our offense is playing and how good our team is playing. You know, when we're moving the ball and the ball's flying in the back of the net, that's all you can ask for is things start happening and the ball to find in the back of the net. So, I owe a lot to that success to my teammates. Like I said, I had 9 assists. If I don't get those 9 assists last game by my teammates not scoring goals, so all I do is try to create an offensive opportunity for my teammates. And you know what? With our offense, you give those guys like Scott Ranger, Curtis Dixon, Dane Domi, Jeff Shattler, or Veltman a chance to score, they're going to put the ball in the net. So that's all I try to do is create an opportunity for my offensive players to score goals.
You've been on some pretty solid teams at every level in lacrosse. Your first of 2 Minto Cups back in 2006 with the Peterborough Lakers, a team that featured your opponent tonight, Mike Grimes and Kyle Sorensen. What do you remember about your playing time with Grimes and Sorey?
You know what? Those are 2 of my best friends. I grew up playing, hockey and lacrosse with them. I respect them so much that, if you look at what they've done, they've done so much. Done so much with, one NLL championship with the Washington South there. Minto Cup, Man Cup. They're just two smart lacrosse players. Where if any defensive player can look, that they can learn off those 2 so much. So they're 2 of my good friends, and I wish them all the best in tonight's game, and hope all the best for them in the future. Where if guys look, if young defensemen can look up to any players, those 2 players would be 2 players to look up to and see what kind of lacrosse IQ that they do have.
You look at the roster of that 06 Minto team, and you think you could put that team on the floor now in the NLL, and it'd probably compete. A lot of big names there. What's in the water in Peterborough? How come there's so many good lacrosse players coming out of there?
Peterborough just was one of those cities that I think we've had a lot of people. It's a big lacrosse town where we've had a lot of lacrosse players come out of it, and I think growing up, I think we just had the right people to mentor us and show us the hard nose and the right way to play lacrosse. And I think we've sort of brought that up with our game, and we're continuing that Peterborough name on. And it's good to see a lot of Peterborough guys come out and be playing lacrosse.
Nationwide Lacrosse is your new project with Brad Self of the Rochester Nighthawks. What's Nationwide Lacrosse all about? What are you guys doing?
Nationwide Lacrosse is, co-founders are Brad Self from the Rochester Nighthawks and Sean Evans, me from Calgary. And what we're trying to do is, grow the game of lacrosse all across Canada. So right now we have 8 camps scheduled in Ontario right now, and we're hoping to make our way out west and to, Alberta and Saskatchewan and those areas to grow the game of lacrosse for those young kids that, there's lacrosse leagues there, but they don't have, like pro athletes like ourselves to come there and teach them the right ways to play lacrosse. So our goal is, go there, grow the game, and grow the players to be able to make it to that next level.
It's nationwidelacrosse.ca, Nationwide Lax on Twitter, and Nationwide Lax on Facebook. Is lacrosse a full-time job for you now?
Yeah, it is a full-time job right now. Like, us running these lacrosse camps, it's lacrosse all year round now. Summer lacrosse, winter lacrosse, and now these camps.
Sean Evans of the Calgary Roughnecks has been my guest. Evie, before I let you go, I put all my guests through a quick little lightning round. 5 things you need to know about Sean Evans. Are you ready?
You put some pressure on me, are you?
Yeah, little pressure. What's your pregame meal?
Pregame meal is fettuccine with a couple pieces of cut-up steak.
Favorite thing to do at the gym?
Favorite thing to do at the gym is crunches.
Least favorite thing to do at the gym?
Least favorite thing to do at the gym? Holy. Probably run the treadmill, but you have to run because you got to play lacrosse.
Best actor at the Oscars tomorrow?
Is Denzel Washington up for that?
He is.
Right?
I think so. I just watched that movie Flight, and I think he should be up for that. So you know what? I'm a big Denzel Washington fan, so I got my hats go off to him. So he should be up for that.
Perfect. Okay, last question. How long does it take you to grow a handlebar mustache?
How long does it take to grow a handlebar mustache? That's a good question. I say give me about a week and a half, and I'll have a great start on anybody.
Wow, you've heard it here first, lacrosse fans. A week and a half for a handlebar mustache, and his favorite actor is Denzel Washington. Amongst other things, he's also the leading goal scorer in the National Lacrosse League right now. Sean Evans has been my guest. Check out nationwidelacrosse.ca. Sean Evans, my guest at halftime. Good luck the rest of the game tonight, and good luck the rest of the season.
Thank you so much for having me.
Sean Evans of your Calgary Roughnecks doing great things online at Nation.
Thanks again to the Edmonds Eagles and the Snohomish lacrosse teams. Let's give them a big round of applause. Join us post-game on March.
Welcome back inside Comcast Arena, lacrosse fans. The Stealth on top of the Roughnecks, 7-5. Brad Challoner and Kevin Alexander heading into the final 30 minutes. Thank you to Sean Evans, my guest at halftime, for all of his insight. And Evie now just 2 points away from hitting 500 on his career. He has 498, had 496 coming into this game. 2 points in that first half. Dobie led the Roughnecks with a goal and 2 assists. Brett Bucktooth leading the way for your Washington Stealth with 2 goals and 2 assists, and Lewis Ratcliffe with 4 assists. As Jeff Snyder wins the ball off the draw in this half and just goes straight to the cage. Faceoffs won in that first half, 8-6 for Jeff Snyder against his younger brother Bobby, who said he used to give him tips until they both went off to college and they had to play against each other, and then that was it, Kevin.
Well, obviously he's a pretty good teacher up there, and not much to split between the two.
Ranger inside takes a shot, armpit save by Richards. He looks for the ball up the floor, and the Stealth head back the other way. So pretty solid first 30 minutes for Washington. A balanced offense. Mitch McMichael looked really good. Brett Bucktooth. And when those two guys are scoring, when your secondary, quote-unquote secondary guys are putting balls in the net, you're off to a pretty good first 30 minutes.
Well, you're looking for good balance. That's what you always want in any kind of game. If you can get balanced scoring, life's pretty good.
Big scrum in the far corner from our broadcast booth right now. Who wants to come up with it? Nolan Hefner goes for a lap around the net, but it looks like he'll run out of clock time here. Ranger will just drop in front of the Stealth bench, and the Washington will get their first offensive possession of this half, and it's McMichael. And a goal in the first half. What did you learn downstairs in between in the break there, Kevin?
Oh, well, I think guys just want to eliminate a few of the turnovers that we had early and just keep going to the net pretty hard.
Hill tries to tap in a pass from Bucktooth. And now a loose ball by Ratcliffe picks it up in the O zone and gets a fresh clock for his stealth. Bounce shot, though, with the fresh 30. With just about 2 seconds gone, and Poulin makes an easy stop. Veltman back up the floor the other way. Pass behind the net. Richards doesn't pick it off. Evans has it. Ball's in front. Dixon around Garrison. Fakes the shot. Now he lets one go. It's wide. Rebound. Down on the crease. McBride. Oh, it was Harnett rather caught for a shift on offense. Now he will run off the floor. Andy McBride, we should mention, playing in his 160th career game tonight, your Roughnecks captain. That ties the all-time Roughnecks record with Caleb Toth. So next week, McBride will be the all-time leader.
Well, Brider's been around for a long time. Good, solid player, good leader out there, and solid player.
Cliff Smith tries to get through the middle. He's turned aside, and the shot clock will run out on Smith. Only 2 players in the NLL have played more games with their same team that they're on right now. That's Blaine Manning and Johnny T in Buffalo. Broken stick on the floor. Shatler steps his way, tries to fake a pass inside, goes to the other side of the floor to Ranger. Ranger around Grimes, looks for a pass inside. Top of the zone is Shatler. He drops that one with Justin Salt in his grill. Now the pass is behind the net, and the Roughnecks offense looks a bit scattered as they throw away a ball and run out of clock time.
Yeah, I don't like the chances of anybody else wearing number 11 in Buffalo.
Now Dutch to Ratcliffe. Bounce pass far side to Dutch again. Back to Ratcliffe as they go give and go up top. Now Ratcliffe back to Hill. And the motion picks up. Ratcliffe drops a pass. Snyder's there to greet him as Ratcliffe will run out of time. And so 2 30-second violations, one on either side in the last 2 possessions.
Yeah, defense is pretty stout. Stealth got to work the ball inside a little bit more, work harder to get the ball inside, little pick and roll. Sometimes you got to pick and roll off ball as well.
Evans being watched by Garrison. Rangers there to set a pick. Evans takes it. Uses the screen from Ranger, comes through the middle, and now passes far side. Doby shoulder saved by Richards. Now Ranger, double team comes over. Ranger through the middle, tries a behind the back pass over Evans's head. And it's picked off. And a breakaway opportunity here for Tim Henderson if he can bring it in. Jump from behind, and Hendo runs into Poulin on the way through, but couldn't get a good shot off.
Good recovery there by Cliff Smith. That's where you like to see those second, third opportunities on offense. And you miss the ball, miss the net, and you get it back for another chance. They're always big.
Bucktooth inside, tries to go top shelf, dip and dunk, and Poulin gets the shoulder pad over.
Another second opportunity here.
Evans caught for a shift on defense. Dutch likes the one-on-one. Gets it to Ratcliffe, around McFetridge inside. And McFetridge got the stick over to break up the play. Now Poulin to Evans.
Little better offense there from the Stealth. They had the chances in closer. That's what we want to see. The shots 10, 8 feet.
Dixon brings a pass in. 15 on the shot clock. Beers chases him. Scoop back to Aresta Doby fakes, waits, shoots. Now he gets one go. Richards gets the save, and there's an offensive loose ball for Dixon and a fresh clock. 5 minutes gone. Dixon crease dive, and Richards made the save. As Superman tried to go upstairs, but didn't have a lot of running room to take off from. And that brings us to our first break of the second half. No goals, 5 minutes and 12 seconds gone. Stealth on top of the Roughnecks, 7-5. You're watching the National Lacrosse League on the Lacrosse Network.
From Play It Again Sports. Get to know your Washington Stealth, brought to you by
Tonight's game is brought to you in part by Reebok. Redefine your game with Reebok's new Black line. Reebok Black was designed and engineered for the elite lacrosse player. Reebok's Black line features a lightweight and minimalistic design with carbon light technology. Performance-driven, technology-driven, NLL proven. Find all the new Reebok lacrosse gear online at ReebokBlack.com. 5-on-5, Roughnecks in possession. Shots on goal through the first half, 29 for Washington, 27 for Calgary. And those 2 extra shots right now are the difference. Molesky gets up on the floor in a hurry after missing 4 games. And Beers picks up an offensive loose ball, but a personnel change for Washington. Now Iannucci and the offense roll out. Hill, McMichael, and Ratcliffe are the lefties. 3 lefty formation. McMichael goes for a jog. Pass far side to Dutch. Down low to Iannucci. 1-on-1 with Manning. Dutch has a lane. Now he has a shot, and Poulin falls on it. Where's the rebound? He felt it squirting through, but able to sort of shuffle his way outside of the goal line to keep it onside.
Pretty good play there with Dutchy and Iannucci. Little inside pick maneuver, and had a decent shot.
Dobie to Evans, and a Ranger will try his luck. Referees and Richards ducked out of the way at that one. A lot of mustard on that shot. Now Grimes back across center. Pass to Dutch. Fakes a shot. McFadden one-handed shot. Lets it go. And Poulin got the paddle out as it was a bit wide. And back the other way come the Roughnecks.
Not sure about that one. I would rather see a little bit better shot taken with 17 seconds on the clock. But I guess Dutchy thought he saw a side there.
Evans takes a shot wide. Rebounds picked up by Dobie with O'Doherty. Watching him. Moving pick called on Dan McCray. And the ball is handed back over to Washington. Bucktooth up the floor. 4 points in the first half for Brett Bucktooth. McMichael around his screen. Hits Iannucci inside. He had 2 goals in the first half. McMichael dip and dunk, and Poulin backed in too deep and held his line. Dobie wants to slow the play down. Tells Harnett to do just that. He hands off to Veltman. To Evans. To Dixon. Evans circling the zone. Dixon looking for someone to pass to. 1-on-1 against Henderson. Henderson holds his ground, grabs a little piece of sweater, and Dixon just forced to throw a pass back to Veltman, and that'll do it for the shot clock. Tim Henderson holds his ground against Curtis Dixon.
Yeah, nice work by Tim Henderson. Like we said earlier, he's a big, strong guy, so maybe he's one of those guys that can kind of match up with Dixon in strength. He will have to use all his wiles with the smarts of Dixon, but we like what we see.
Dean Hill's all alone inside, fakes one side, it goes top left, and it's 8-5, the biggest lead of the game.
Well, Dean Hill's one of those guys that sets all the nice little, cute little pick and rolls in front of the net, and he's one of those guys that's always close in around the crease. If he can get him the ball, a lot of times it'll wind up right where it was in the back of the net.
Give Dean Hill 9 on the year. Goals in 3 straight games for the Scarborough, Ontario. Now Henderson drops a hand, drops a pass back. Cliff Smith's there for it though, and now they'll get a chance to regroup. Smith is jumped. Harnett and McCray pressure the play, loose ball, Jeff Snyder, he can't pick it up. Iannucci does, it's Iannucci and Ratcliffe 2-on-1. Newt bounce shot goal! Ethan Iannucci's hat trick, and it's 9-5.
Well, that one was almost a comedy of errors. Cliff Smith got stuck. He got beat from behind for a loose ball. Calgary turned around, picked it back up. Jeff Snyder had a run at it. He couldn't pick it up. Ethan Iannucci picks it up, goes in all alone, puts it in the back of the net. Looks like we're going to have a quick goaltender change here, putting in Scigliano, but I would think that we'll see Poulin back in there again.
Yeah, Poulin will just cool down. Scigliano Frankie Sigliano has only seen 7 minutes and 41 seconds of game time this season. 3 shots on goal, 2 goals against. The 1992-born player still has another year of junior eligibility, but he won his first and only start in the National Lacrosse League in this building last year.
And he played very well.
Dobie pass behind the net to Evans, looking to get back on the board here for Calgary. Evans spins, fires, and Richards falls on that one. Now Snyder just sort of stubbed his stick in the turf and couldn't pick up that loose ball. He would have been gone. And you don't get a much scarier 2-on-1 than Iannucci and Ratcliffe coming down on you.
Stealth have to do a better job of clearing the ball. They have to do a better job of clearing the ball. Help out the ball carriers. Don't turn your back on them. Don't abandon them.
Here's Ranger, top of the zone to Veltman. To Jeff Shatler, takes a shot. It's wide. Rebound to the top of the zone to Ranger again. Being watched by Grimes. Ranger has a lane. Sub shot wide. And over and back to Cull. Stealth will get to that center. Sigliano still in.
Yeah, it almost looks like a little bit of frustration setting in on the Roughnecks. They got to be careful now. They're starting to shoot the long ones. They're not working hard to get the ball inside, which is imperative. You must work the ball inside to make the outside shots work. So Stealth defense shoring up.
McMichael and Hill will work the lefty side of the floor. The ball is over to Reese Dutch. Iannucci has a lane. Scoop pass back to Nooch. Winds up, shoots and scores! Ethan Iannucci, and it's 10-5.
Well, Stealth on a bit of a roll now, so they just got to keep working on the faceoffs, working on the faceoffs. When things are happening like this, ball is going in, it's always important that next minute or two after a goal that you really play tough, play smart. That's the critical time, the next minute or two now.
4th goal of the evening for Ethan Iannucci. 16 on the year now as Jeff Snyder wins the draw. He likes to get things going into his own hands, takes a shot, and then tiptoes the crease. Easy save for Richards. 4-goal run for the Stealth now, dating back to the last dying seconds of the first half.
So now real smart possession. Stealth need a smart possession. Work hard, work for an inside shot, be patient.
McMichael into the zone. McBride greets him. Iannucci again, he's feeling his shot, but that one doesn't make its way through. Loose ball. And the Roughnecks pick it up. Manning gets his stick on it, looks up the floor in transition. Pass is brought down by Harnett. And they'll slow things down to wait for the offense. Kermalowski just drew up a play and chirping in his players' ears, so they'll see if they can come through for coach here. Now Dobie, shot off the back wall. Dixon picks it up, tries to dip and dunk, and he does! Superman flying from behind the net this time and dunks it behind Richards, and it's 10-6.
You know, that's an interesting one. I might even throw a flag on that. The head of the stick must be in front of the goal line extended there when you score a goal in this league. And I don't know if that didn't just go up T. Rich's back from behind. And we don't have great camera angles here, so you may not get a real good look at it.
And home field advantage. We probably won't even get a replay here. As pretty as that goal would have been to see. Here we go. Let's take a quick look. That passes off the wall. That's intentional into the stick at Dixon. I think it's a good goal.
I have a hard time there. I don't know that a guy without jumping can make his stick, the head of his stick, in front of the goal, in front of the crossbar to make that go in.
I think that's what Richards is asking LeBranche right now, but no flags thrown. That's where we stand, 10-6 with 4:26 to go in the third quarter. You're watching the National Lacrosse League on the Lacrosse Network. Curtis Dixon scored 3 shorthanded goals in Minnesota last weekend. If you want to relive any of those, just go to the Lacrosse Network online to see the top 10 plays from last weekend's action. You can also watch full replays of every single game played this season. It's all there on demand anytime that fits your schedule. Visit youtube.com/the Lacrosse Network. Curtis Dixon with the most recent goal is 10-6.
Well, still got to be careful. This Calgary team is always dangerous. They can score goals in big bunches, so no time to relax out there.
Offense goes to work. Smith to Ratcliffe, back to Reese Dutch. Back to Ratcliffe. McFetters lines up against him. Back over to Dutch. Dangles underneath of Hebner. Now bodied to the corner by McRae, who slides over with a good check. Now Smith has a lane through the middle. Cliff Smith drops a hand and rolls it through the legs of Poulin. 11-6.
Real heads-up play by Cliff Smith. He saw there was no help on the defense. Went hard to the net. Little underhand shot. Glove side low on Scagliano. Real nice move. Little bit of a power move. He saw the chance there. Nobody to help. And went right in on net by himself.
Second of the night, 13th on the year.
So good answer to the Calgary goal, and that's that little 2-minute span again we talk about. You really got to bear down.
Procedure on Bobby Snyder, so Jeff Snyder wins the draw, but he's triple teamed as he goes for a run of the O-zone. And back the other way comes Billy Haustrasser. His second game of NLL action. Bucktooth into the zone. All being worked around now.
Stealth still guilty on a bad change there. They're abandoning the ball carrier still.
Ball's picked off there by Carnegie. Good heads-up play. And the Roughnecks look up the floor. Passes too far ahead of Dixon. As Beers is all alone. 2 white jerseys flock him, though. And Dutch comes up with the loose ball. Now the Roughnecks having trouble breaking out, having trouble crossing center the last couple of plays. They swat the ball down. This time McMichael picks it up. It's a tongue twister every time for me. McMichael.
Yeah, he gave me a bit of a rough time. I keep putting an S on the end of his name.
His brother will let us know on Twitter too right away. There's another shot by Ratcliffe. 12-6 as he gets his first of the night against his old team.
Well, things are kind of going the Stealth way now. When that happens, you really, really have to work harder. As funny as it sounds, offensively, when things are going your way, the harder you work, the better things happen. We're probably going to see Poulin heading back in the net, but offensively, just keep working, going hard to the net. If the ball doesn't go in, you have that chance of getting drawing a penalty, and Calgary's starting to get a little bit rattled.
Ratcliffe, who third all-time in points, goals, and assists for the Calgary Roughnecks. Had a 50-goal season with them back in the day, and a championship in 04. Now Dixon from behind the net can score from anywhere. We witnessed that. Now Doby, bodied down by Henderson. Loose balls to Veltman. He cuts inside, falls into the crease, and Richards makes his stop. Now Henderson across center. Harnett's out to greet him. Henderson looks for help off the bench. It's Bucktooth. Harnett has some words for Henderson. He's getting under the skin of some white jerseys tonight. And now a man down on the floor. It was Harnett. Sub shot by Bucktooth, and now Poulin looks for a breakout pass. It's Harnett at center. Greg Harnett waits for help off the bench. Shatler's the trailer, and Ranger beyond him. Reciter's the last man. Evans against Salt, backs in, hits the trailer. Ranger, far side to Shatler. Soft shot, shoulder save, behind the back save, and Richards falls on that one. Shatler and another save, rebound from his knees. Richards makes his third quick save in a row to keep it 12-6. Shatler again, fumbles a pass this time, drops it, and the Roughnecks try to pick it up. Sorensen swats it over to Salt. He'll pick it up and look up the floor for Washington. Ahead of the play was Garrison, and Salt didn't get him the ball.
You got to get that ball up. You got to get that ball up. You got to look down the floor as the first option, and then look for your nearest outlet.
Garrison coming over to set a pick for Dutch. Garrison rolls to the net. Dutch takes the shot, hit a paddle on the way through, and Poulin will look for a breakout pass. Man out of the gate is Dixon, and Beers had 2 options: make a hit or make a pass. But they're going to say he was too quick out of the back gate. Too many men for Washington.
Gee, I don't know. That looked pretty good to me. And I'm probably closer than Todd LeBranch is, quite honestly. Real close.
That'll put the brakes on some of this Washington momentum. And if Calgary can answer, quiet this crowd down a little bit. The Boo Birds are out. Mitch McMichael's the in-home, so he'll sit down and serve the too-many-men penalty. Well, the Roughnecks will go to the power play where they have a couple goals already tonight. Richards just getting some equipment looked at, and then he'll be ready to go again. And
Yes.
both teams have 2 power play goals tonight.
Yep, so a big chance here for the Roughnecks to kind of pull one back here. They haven't had a power play for a little while here, so we'll see how they move the ball.
Veltman will quarterback this one. He has a power play goal tonight, so does Doby, so they're coming from the left. Schattler. Veltman drops a pass, and Evans is there to pick it up. He steps in, pass far side, Doby, and Richards able to slide over and make a big stop. Now a breakout pass out of the gate for Ratcliffe, but it's ahead of the play, and McFetridge is there to break it up. Now Poulin picks up a loosie and goes for a jog. Good wheels there on Mike Poulin. Evans. The Schattler places it, and Richards, again, he has Schattler's number so far. Beers tries to chase down a loose ball. Molesky's there for it. Doby lays a hack on him, and Molesky's across center.
So just use up the time here.
8 seconds in the half, or in the quarter to go. Beers will run it in front of the Calgary bench and chuck it down into the corner as we pause. 12-6. Washington Stealth on top of the Calgary Roughnecks. After 45 minutes of play, still a big 15 to go. We all know a 6-goal deficit in lacrosse is not unattainable. Minute 5 left in the power play for Calgary when we return. You're watching the National Lacrosse League on the Lacrosse Network.
All right, here we go, the Silver Bullet Shootout. We've got 3 contestants, each going to take 2 shots on goal. The contestant with the fastest shot wins Coors Light gift pack. Here's the catch. If anybody can beat Matt Beers, who had the fastest shot of 89 miles an hour, you get free Stealth tickets for life. The end of the year, we're going to bring back the winner from the night to have a big old tournament at the end of the year. Up first, we've got Danny. Let's see what you got, Danny. Ooh, that had a little heat on it. Seven miles an hour. All right, Danny, you're up. Danny, you're up.
Hey, Roughneck fans, your Calgary Roughnecks return home 1 week from tonight, Saturday, March 2nd. 7 p.m. face-off in the 3rd chapter of the Battle of Alberta when Edmonton rolls into Cowtown. Special night under the dome as the team honors the great Caleb Toth. Be there for the Caleb Toth Forever a Roughneck ceremony. For tickets, visit calgaryroughnecks.com.
Well, Caleb, all-time great Roughneck there. Should have a good crowd out there to support him. Great player, great guy, and a big night for him.
So the Calgary Roughnecks are the best 4th quarter team in the NLL. 29 4th quarter goals through 8 games, and down by 6 here. Heading in to the final frame here. So not an unachievable deficit.
Oh no, they're a big 4th quarter team. They got lots of experience and they got lots of goal scorers. We can look, and normally they would have Dixon coming off the bench, but the first lefty, I think we'll see Doby coming off early, going for those fast breaks, those little loop passes. So Stealth got to be aware of that. They got to react back and just play good defense, play smart.
Reese Dutch, after an 8-point performance last game, has 7 tonight, 1 goal, 6 assists. 6 assists ties his career high. It's also a season high for Reese Dutch here. Now Evans and the Roughnecks go to work on the power play for 48 seconds. Veltman to Evans. Behind the back pass inside for Doby. Gets caught as the double team comes over. Now Evans. Sub shot, scores. Give Sean Evans time and space and he'll bury. That's career point number 499.
Yeah. Guys, in the middle on the power play, when you're playing short man, you got to keep your sticks up. You got to keep your sticks in the lane at all times. You can't stand there with your stick down. We had a couple of Stealth players just kind of in there ready to get out on the ball, but you got to keep your sticks up, make them pass through the sticks.
Good scrum off the draw. Jeff Snyder will win into his stick and then fall down, gets back up with it. Good perseverance on the loose ball. Now Cliff Smith through the middle. Harnett comes over to break up the play. Snyder lays some lumber on Smith, and Justin Salt will slow things down. Back to even strength lacrosse, 14 minutes to go. Dutch through traffic, beat Poulin but couldn't beat the iron. Bucktooth again, Dutch being tied up and side by McFetteridge. Now Ratcliffe against Snyder, tiptoes, back, beats him the other way, scoop pass inside, Iannucci's hammered down to the ground by Harnett. Ball ends up in the net, behind the net, and the Roughnecks get the ball.
Stealth still working hard to get the ball inside. It's almost like trying to get a little bit too close now. If they got that 15-foot shot, I'd like to see them taking that with the quality, rather than trying to get a little bit crowded, a little bit too tight inside. If you got the 15-footer, that's a good shot if you're unmolested.
Doby to Evans, has a lane. Evans tries to go top shelf. It's high and wide. Rebound is picked up by Veltman. To Doby, tiptoes the crease. Sorensen pushes him outside. Doby cuts the crease, tiptoes, and rings one off the crossbar. Rebound, Shadler wants it, but now it's a foot race. At center, Grimes picks it up, and a penalty coming up to the Washington Stealths. Chris O'Doherty on the back end.
So quick way to self-destruct here. You got to stay out of the box. Can't take dumb penalties, and you got to be smart. You got to deny. Penalties are okay if you're not denying a goal-scoring opportunity. But otherwise than that, you just got to play hard defense. Stay between your guy and the net. Life's good.
A couple power plays in a row here for the Roughnecks, and here they go. Motion starts. Veltman to Doby. To Veltman again. Behind the back to Doby. A little corkscrew shot. Ended up in the corner. Shatler's there for the rebound. He tiptoes the crease and comes outside. Back to Evans. To Shatler. Fakes a shot. Down to the crease to Ranger. Pump fake. And pulls it back out. Motion starts again. Shatler over top of a couple of bodies, and Molesky's there for the loose ball and ahead of steam. Molesky running good. Jeff Molesky with a big power cradle up the floor. Tried to go behind the back, did it, and then tried an overhand shot. Jeff Molesky running with some wheels after missing 4 games with a...
That was a great move by Mo. Just couldn't get Poulin to bite on it. Good hustle.
Former Roughneck, Prince George, British Columbia native. Now Shatler, Veltman, Ranger fires, Richards falls down that one. He doesn't know where the rebound is, and it ended up in his paddle. 1 minute left in the penalty to Chris O'Doherty.
Got to get the ball out. Got to get the ball out. Guys are not thinking here. Guys are not thinking. They got to play smarter.
It was 8-second violation from Matty Beers as the Roughnecks go back the other way. Evans to Doby. To Shatler. To Ranger. Getting everybody a touch here. This time Curtis Dixon's on the power play. He's playing down in that crease. They're going without Doby this time. Ranger rings one off the crossbar. It's all the way down the floor. And they're going to let Poulin pick up the loose ball. Ranger comes back in again. To Veltman. Ranger, Evans. Takes a shot. Richards the save. Rebound. And Evans is there for it.
So 20 left in the penalty here.
Evans ball inside for Rangers dropped. Here comes a little sneak. Another delayed penalty coming up as Richards slashes Dixon, who went down to the ground. A couple blanks coming as now Richards drops someone else. Drops Ranger and Dixon on the same plate as Tyler Richards.
Yeah, we might see a bit of a dive here for Scott Ranger. I don't know about that one at all. Kind of getting off game here, off game. Stealth are not playing smart. Don't get into this penalty thing. They got a great power play. We don't want to go there. Play 5-on-5. Majority, over 50% of the goals in this game been scored on a power play. They need 5 goals, and that's the easiest way to get them. Even if you end up 4-on-4, it's easier to pull a goalie and play 5-on-4 than it is to play 6-on-5. So we got to play a little bit smarter and use our brains a little bit, and we're not doing that at all.
So Richards will get a penalty. He's got to serve his own 5 I've been waiting to see this in a lacrosse game. If a goalie gets a 5, he has to serve it. T. Rich is in the penalty box. And it's a sight for sore eyes, I'll tell you that. Look at 0-0. Rangers going to get the dive because Richards did lay a chop on Dixon, but then he bumped into Ranger who bit. So Nick Patterson's got to come in, play for 5 minutes, and then Tyler Richards can't even come out until there's a stoppage of play.
Well, I think he has to serve the full 5 no matter what happens out there.
The Rangers in the box. O'Doherty still has another 12 seconds, so we'll have 4-on-4 here in 12 seconds. And then after 2 minutes, it'll be a 3-minute man advantage for Calgary. LeBranch is still trying to talk everything through here. We're going to need someone else to serve, I believe, for Tyler Richards. Garrison is in the box right now, but he's not the in-no. McMichael comes over, and the Jared's going to keep Garrison too. Here comes the call. Richards gets 5 for a high stick. Rangers gets 2 for unsportsmanlike.
Here comes another penalty. Todd LeBranch got his hand up. We need to use the full time here. Full time. Work hard if you get your shot at the end of the 30 to keep creating those opportunities and eating up the clock.
So this is that undisciplined play that Kurt Milosky's been talking about all week long. There's a shot, and Dixon doesn't know that there's a penalty, but there is on the Roughnecks.
Too many men again. Well, that'll help with the odd man situation. So now Stealth just have to play smart. You got a full 2 minutes here, 4-on-4.
Hope someone's getting some good camera shots of Tyler Richards in that penalty box. Well, 4-on-4 lacrosse we go. Lots of room on the floor.
Lots of room. Have to really watch the changes here, and you have to react back. You can't have guys kind of loitering on offense. You either got to react back or pressure the ball and not let them get it up real quick.
Stealth still up by 5, 11 minutes to go. Iannucci bodies his way into the offensive zone. To Lewis Ratcliffe. They watched by Carnegie. Ratcliffe to Dean Hill at the top of the zone. To Iannucci. Down to Ratcliffe. Being watched by McRae. Beaks it towards the net. To Dean Hill. He's in some trouble. Hits Dutch. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Iannucci tries to make that patented one-handed grab inside, but couldn't bring down the ball. And the Roughnecks are back the other way in transition. Curtis Manning. Missed a couple games this season while he's been at med school. Now Evans is bodied to the outside by his former junior teammate Mike Grimes. Schattler bounce shot, scores. Evans gets the assist, and that's career point number 500 for the league's leading scorer, Sean Evans. 12-8.
Just a quick shot by Jeff Schattler, kind of beat Nick Patterson between the wickets there. Yeah, that's a quick release that gives goalies nightmares all the time, but they got to get out on the shooters like that. They can't give unmolested shots.
A 4-4 goal and a 4-goal deficit. 4s everywhere as number 4 takes the draw for Calgary and wins it, Jeff Snyder. Across the line into the offensive zone, slashed by Beers and takes a curl. Now he hands off to the offense and goes for a change. Schattler to Evans. Comes through, shot, Richards the save. No, Patterson the save rather. Richards still in the box. And here comes the Stealth. Evans picks it off, shoots off the crossbar.
Have to play way smarter. Got 10 minutes left in this game. The turnovers like that will bury all the time. Stealth guys got to play with a little bit more composure with this much time left in the game, just not smart.
They had a 6-goal advantage, and yeah, you're right, Kevin. They look a little scrambly here in the last couple of minutes. So do you just want them to slow down and use their 30 every time they get up the floor?
Well, like Cliff Smith took a shot there, 19 seconds on the clock. Not a great shot. Why take it?
It's a pretty anxious situation when you're up against the top team in the West Division with this much time left, and Stealth showing some anxiety right now as a goal shot. And the Roughnecks pull within 3. It's 9:13 to go.
And that's just undisciplined offense. That's all it is out there. You got to play with composure. Your leader's got to take over the game now and show composure. But you still have to go to the net. You have to go hard to the net. If we go hard to the net, Todd LeBranch, he's calling everything and everything he sees out there. Go hard to the net. You'll draw penalties, and it'll change the momentum a little bit here. Got to play smart.
Curtis Dixon, the goal scorer. Second of the night, 22 on the year for Dixon. Loose ball off the draw. Snyder picks it up. Now Shadler buries top shelf with a big pass across the floor from Snyder, and they're within 2 with lots of time left to go. Little lull falling over the crowd right now as they find themselves a little scared here.
Well, in shock is probably the word, and it comes right down to defense. You got to do with the defense now. We still need to play smartly on offense, and now we got a slow change here. It just unraveled.
First goal of the game for Jeff Shadler.
3 goals scored by number 77, Jeff Shadler. Assistant number 4, Jeff Snyder.
Jeff Snyder gets the assist. 9:05 to go, 4th and final frame. Anybody's lacrosse game. Stealth 12 and the Roughnecks 10. You're watching the National Lacrosse League on the Lacrosse Network. Do not go anywhere. It's going to be a photo finish tonight. Tickets, visit stealthlax.com. Join us here at Comcast Arena next Sunday for Washington Stealth Lacrosse. And to get your questions in for the post-game show, lacrosse fans, if you want to ask me or Kevin Alexander any questions about tonight's game, you can find me on Twitter at LaxCaster or email bcjall@hotmail.com. That's bcjall@hotmail.com. 2-goal deficit for the Roughnecks, 9:05 left to go in a wild one, Kevin.
Well, Stealth got a bit of a break there with the TV timeout. They had a timeout that they didn't have to burn, so give guys down and regroup a bit here. Got to get out on the shooters, give Nick Patterson a little bit more support in there, and now Roughnecks go to the power play.
Yeah, Tyler Richards is still in the penalty box for another 2:25 and then waiting for a whistle, which you probably want your team to take a timeout on to get that whistle. Power play goes to work. Evans, Veltman fires, and Patterson makes a big jump save. Flexes the chest there. Beers takes his man down to the ground. Now it's Veltman in a loose ball battle. Sorensen picks it up. Has to tiptoe his own crease. Headman's into Grimes. He's got a step on Dixon, who knocks the hand stick out of Grimes' hand and will head to the box for it. Manning tells him it's okay. Calm down. He's still 4-on-4 lacrosse. You're not putting your team down shorthanded.
So Dixon on the slash. I don't care which way you call that. I don't know why that's a slash. Grimesy was reaching for the ball. Dixon slashed, his stick fell out of his hand, and Todd LeBranch gives him a slash penalty. But if they're going to call it, they've been calling it all over the place. So it's equal, but it just, I don't know. Just because your stick falls out of your hand, I don't know that it's really a slash.
Iannucci. Top of the zone to Dutch. 7 points so far tonight. Iannucci sets a big pick. Dutch takes it. Rolls to the net. Jumps the crease. Bouncer, and it's in. Calgary might want a flag here. Kurt Milosky's reaching into his pocket. Whatever his teammates say. But nonetheless,
I don't know that it was. And you know what? It's such a close game at this point. That'll burn your final timeout if he does throw it. He better not hold his breath waiting for a replay, because I don't see one coming.
Not in this barn, unfortunately. But, you know, my judge is, if your defense is coming off and they're not telling you to throw it, they have the best eyesight. They're right there beside it. And when the defense is coming off and not saying anything, you got to think they think it's going to stand.
So big 2 minutes here.
Dutch matches his 8-point night from last week with 9 tonight. 13-10, 7:48 to go. 4-on-4 still. As Doby drops a pass, and Beers picks it up and looks up the floor. Cliff Smith across center. He has a pair tonight.
Just play smart now. There's still 22 on the clock. Work the ball, work the possession.
Smith backs his way into the zone, hits Brett Buckley, who had a monstrous first half with 4 points. Now Ratcliffe inside, bouncer off Poulin. Where's the rebound? McFettridge was the only one to see it. And a good heads-up play to corral it.
Got to get back now.
Long strides up the floor for McFettridge. Antelopes it into the offensive zone and hits Evans with a pass. Evans finds a lane to the net. Garrison greets him. Gets a high stick up. Evans spinning towards net. Still has the ball. Hits Shadler. Buries it. Good shot by Shadler. Richards thought he was going top right. He ended up going to the top left. It's Patterson, rather. Patterson's still in the net. But a beautiful shot by Jeff Shatler. And the Roughies, again, are within 2.
Too much time and space for Jeff Shatler. You can't give him those shots. He's going to put them in the corners, and they're hard to save.
Second of the night for Jeff Shatler. 6:56 to go, 2-goal game here again. Another great draw as Bobby Snyder tries to edge his stick underneath Jeff's. Loose ball squirts out to Dan McRae, and the Roughnecks pick it up. Jeff is leading the way with wins tonight. Not by much, but he has more face-off wins. Shatler again, jump shot. This time Richards got over. Beers, long pass up the floor. Ahead of the play was McMichael, but Poulin picks up the ball off the back wall. McMichael runs into some trouble and heads off the floor. Now Dixon back the other way. Stealth will need a whistle now before Tyler Richards can come out of the penalty box. He's done served his 5. Now Doby goes top left on Patterson. Almost that same shot that Shatler had. They like that top shelf on Nick Patterson. 13-12, and Tyler Richards comes back on the floor to a standing ovation in Comcast Arena.
Guys got to work hard now. Got to work hard on D, work hard on O. You're right back to square one. Don't have to gamble. Play smart.
Jeff Snyder wins the draw, heads up the floor right through the middle and buries tie lacrosse game. When it matters the most, Jeff Snyder goes to the cage and ties this thing up with 6:04 to go. Anyone's game.
Oh, it's always anyone's game out there. Stealth got to shore up the defense a little bit, play a little bit smarter, work harder on the face-off. Jeff's starting to come up with a few more here, so maybe play an extra guy back now.
Stealth had a 6-goal lead late in the third quarter. 6-goal lead heading into the fourth quarter, rather. Now it's a tie game. Evans directing the offense. Tries to get a pass inside for Rangers. Stealth knock it down. Rebounds in the corner for Doby. Hodgson picks it up. And it'll run up the floor. It's all about composure now as Hodgson drops a pass. It's scooped up the floor to Doby. And the Roughnecks have numbers.
Still having huge trouble clearing the ball successfully, Stealth. Got to help out. Can't turn your back on the ball carrier. Make yourself an available outlet.
Evans crease dive, tries to tuck it in. LeBranch says no. Blair's looking a little gassed too as Henderson sort of trots up the floor. He's been sprinting up the floor all night. And now the Stealth offense goes to work. Ratcliffe back to Dutch. Here comes the cycle. Dutch fires! Hat-trick goal for Reese Dutch. 14-13 and the Stealth are back on top. And Dutch is back on top of the league leading goals.
Stealth got to work on this face-off right away. First thing, forget about the goal. Goal is done. Tough defense. Help out on the face-off. We got Mitch McMichael taking the face-off this time around. Mitch will have pretty good pursuit if he doesn't come up with it.
Jeff Snyder wins it and almost scoops it out of play, but it's all the way deep in his own end. Smith will pressure. And Manning gets it across the line. The Roughnecks want to answer. Under 5 to go. Roughnecks out shooting the Stealth by 10, 52-42. Crowd is on their feet for the most part. Now Velbin looking for help. Gets the ball far side to Evans. Winds up. It's knocked down by Grimes, and he'll have a breakaway. Carnegie's over to break up the play. It's Grimes and Henderson. And Grimes will roll it to his offense, but there's no one there right now. Now Iannucci steps out, doesn't have the ball. Hefner picks it up as Grimes should have just held on to that one. He knows it.
It's all about composure at this point.
Dobie. Pass to Dixon. Walks around his man. Bounce shot inside. Richards falls on it. Rebound. It's picked up by Sorensen. He has to back into Dobie. Gets it across the line now. Triple teamed and knocked down to the ground by Carnegie. But Justin Salt is inside with the loose ball. They're up by 2 again. 15-13 Washington.
Stealth have got to talk about clearing the ball. It's still an issue. It's still a problem. We got away with it there. Sorry got the ball up early, but it was a close one. Got to be way more people helping out. Good shot by Justin Salt.
Yeah, Salt just able to sneak ahead of the play. Bury another one. McRae's after a loose ball. Reese Dutch gets another assist. He's racking it up tonight. I think he's on about 12 points right now. I'll check the stat sheet in a sec, but now we might have some rough stuff. Couple heads, Lockhorns, Molesky, McBride.
I don't know how he come up with that as a Calgary ball. Didn't give a signal.
3:32 to go. 15-13 Stealth on top of the Roughnecks. You're watching the National Lacrosse League on the Lacrosse Network.
Deep like, see what we can find. I will tell you this, the ticket is green, so if you don't have a green ticket, you put that thing away. It's a green ticket, 830-222. 830-222. It's a green ticket. The winner is going to get $958. Come on up here to the 50-50 table to collect your prize.
Vance Bomber and his friends are armed with free t-shirts. They're looking for the loudest Stealth fans in attendance, so make some noise if you want a free Stealth t-shirt.
NLL Radio offers the best online radio coverage of the National Lacrosse League. Just visit NLL.com/radio and check out our lineup of shows. NLL Radio is pleased to be the new online home of Boxla Beat, hosted by Steven Stamp of IL Indoor. Visit NLL.com/radio for more information. Stamper with a great interview with Sean Evans this week on location at a restaurant in Peterborough. And Evie now tonight with his 500th career point.
Well, pretty famous lacrosse family back in the borough. I played a little bit with some of the Evanses and a little bit against some of the Evanses, but I've never seen a bad Evanses. Those guys come to play every night, and they're all exceptionally good lacrosse players.
3:32 to go, Kevin. 2-goal lead for the Stealth. Can you hang on at this point, or is it too dangerous?
You're not hanging on. If you don't get another goal or two, you're not going to win this game. That's just the way it's going to work. I think if Calgary doesn't get a goal in another minute or so, they'll start pulling the goalie a little bit, going with the 6-on-5. But Stealth just got to play solid here. You know who's going to be the guys that are going to attack you is Dixon, Dobie, and Shatler mainly. And you can throw in Evans there as well. But they're a dangerous troop out there.
Dixon, the aforementioned, gets his way down in the crease. He scored from behind the net tonight, one-handed. Shatler brings himself around up front. He could spin at any time. Now the behind the back ends up in the hands of Evans. Behind the net again is Dixon. What's he going to do this time? Spins, shoots, the net's off. The referees haven't blown the play down yet as Dixon mixing it up in front of the net with Molesky. No penalties called. Shot clock violation on the Roughnecks. And the Stealth will get to bring it up the floor. Dutch with 10 points tonight, 3 goals, and a career-high 7 assists. He's back on top of the league lead with 25 goals. Now Dutch inside, fake shoots down Iannucci, and a big shoulder save by Poulin as Nuge falls down inside the circle. Now McRae hits Evans, the trailer. He'll fire. That's a chest save by Richards. So he puts that in the Argyle mesh and looks up floor.
Okay, so we're getting the ball out a little bit better, playing a little bit smarter. Make Calgary play defense, and when you go to the net, you go exceptionally hard, trying to draw the penalty.
Iannucci off the wall to Bucktooth. Cut short, has a lane. Bucktooth tries to tuck it around the toes of Poulin, but he flashes a sneaker to make the stop.
Self got to get back,
Snyder up the floor, takes a slash from McMichael. Hands off to Ranger. Here comes this potent offense to try to bury. 29 fourth quarter goals so far, actually coming into this game. And 6 tonight, and now breakaway the other way for the rookie Tyler Garrison. Garrison in deep, shoots, scores!
So at this point, if I'm Kurt Malowski, I'm throwing the flag no matter what. They got nothing to lose, and that's a huge goal.
Well, you're under 2 now, Kevin, minute 47, so they'll look at it regardless. But Garrison, the rookie, trying to put the nail in the coffin. Looks pretty clean from that angle.
Big goal. Stealth guys should be over at the bench talking because they're going to do a review, and the reviews take quite a while at this time. They want to get it right. Got to be ready for the face-off. On the other hand, I see Tyler heading for the bench. I want to see him back in the net.
Reese Dutch ties a career high with 10 points. His last 10-point performance, March 25th, 2011, against the Minnesota Swarm.
So Stealth just have to play fairly smart if this one's good. Use up the clock, use up the time. You got to get the ball out of your zone. Don't play lacrosse in your zone with this 2 minutes left if you got the 3-goal lead. Only bad things can happen when you turn the ball over in your zone. The other end, they got to go the full 200 feet to put it in the back of your net. So play smart and help out the adjacent. What you're going to do if you're the guy closest to the ball carrier, you got to make yourself available for the pass.
And if you're Kermalowski, is Poulin coming every time now?
He's coming every time. No doubt about it.
Well, Tyler Garrison gets the biggest goal of his career so far. One of 2 rookies to play in all 9 Washington games so far this season. Still has another year of junior lacrosse left as a Coquitlam Junior Adenac.
Yeah, there's a few good juniors in this league now, that's for sure. You got Paulus in Rochester, you got Scagliano right here on Calgary, and Tyler Garrison of the Stealth. Here's another look at it. That's good.
Yeah, the ball's in before his foot crosses the line. 16-13.
You know what? I've seen stranger things happen, but that's got to be a goal. Referee Greg Hart was right there on the spot, so he didn't see it as no goal, so he's just out of the screen. Oh yeah, that's good all day. But I'm not. We're up here, and Todd LaBranche is down there, so we'll see what he has to say.
Here comes LaBranche with the call. Good.
Okay, so smart possessions here. Work on the face-offs. Get the extra guy back on D, and on offense you got 8 seconds left. Get the guys off so you got your checkers out on the floor. Still got to go to the net. Go to the net with conviction because Calgary's going to have to start gambling, and they're gambling already. They've got all their guys in the offensive zone, one back. So here we go.
Bobby Snyder on the bench. Tyler Garrison, the goal scorer, will stay out and take the draw against Jeff Snyder. Garrison just sort of jumps on Jeff. Can't win that draw, so tackle your player.
Yeah, and I didn't see what the call was there, but
Poulin on the bench, 6-on-5 for the Roughnecks, down by 3 with 1:37 to go. Chandler to Evans at the top of the zone, to Veltman, pass inside, spinning, shooting his Ranger, and a save by Richards.
I'm thinking Roughnecks want to work the ball behind, get a shot from behind. They keep creeping a guy back there.
Evans to Shadler, far side to Ranger. Pass inside, Veltman, jump shots wide. Rebound is waiting there for Curtis Dixon, steps in, sub shot beats Richards. And they're within 2.
That's not the guy you want shooting. You got to get out on him. Don't worry about the pass. You talk about it. He's got 1 million goals and assists are negligible. Get out on him. He's the shooter. He's a guy that's going to hurt you.
Hat-trick goal for Dixon. Give him 23 on the year. 2 behind Dutch for the league lead. Back to the draw. Garrison again. What's going on with Bobby Snyder right now?
Well, I think they want Garrison out to play defense. Should Snyder pick up the ball or win the faceoff?
Poulin to the bench again. 60 seconds to go. Ball's in the hands of Dane Doby. Development back to Doby. Top of the zone development. Threads it to Schattler.
Sticks up in the middle. They need the sticks up in the middle.
Behind the back is knocked down, and Richards picks it up. He looks towards the net and then gives it to the safe bet Molesky to Sorensen. Looking for the empty net. Garrison chases it back. Deke shoots again. And this time Poulin falls on as they look to get the rookie his first second goal, 2-goal game. 35 seconds to go. Here comes a timeout call. Poulin comes to a bench for the timeout. 34 seconds to go, and the Roughnecks will try to quickly drop another play and try to get back in this game.
So Stealth, I believe, still have a timeout left. So in clearing the ball, that timeout may become a huge factor.
Dixon brings the ball to the floor. Shot clock ticking away. Dixon, the Ranger, to Doby. Pressured to the outside. Schattler looking for someone to pass to. It's still 6-on-5. Hits Dixon, looking for that sub shot again, and Richards got a piece of it. It's out of play off of T-Rate, so the Roughnecks will keep it. Standing room only. Evans shot, rebound, Richards grabs it. And he'll just hang on this time, and the Stealth will call a timeout and just rag the ball for 17.5 seconds.
I don't like the timeout.
You'd rather just get it over with?
No, you can take that timeout, move the ball up. You've got 8 seconds to get it to center. If you call a timeout at the 7-second mark, you get another 8 seconds. I don't know who called that timeout, but I can tell you Chris Hall won't be too happy about it.
So the Stealth will regroup. Got to talk about how they'll spread the floor here and just watch this clock tick by. A 6-goal lead for the Stealth heading in to this final period, final quarter. And an 8-goal fourth quarter by the Roughnecks have them within 2 with 17.5 to play.
Well, in this situation, whatever you do, you don't eat the ball in your own zone. If all else fails, you just throw it down the far end, make them come back with the ball. You still got the 2-goal lead. Takes a long time to bring it back down twice, so just play smart.
So Reese Dutch will start with it deep with Schattler and Dixon stalking him. He feeds his goaltender, Tyler Richards, looking for a long bomb pass all the way up the floor, but it's picked off by Evans. He's tackled down in the ground by Beers, penalty, but McMichael picked it up.
Dumb play.
Yeah, you're saying don't. Game would have been over if Evans picked it up.
Don't touch the ball. Dumb play. Guys aren't thinking. You win this game with your head as well as your body, and that's not a wise play.
7.2 seconds. Beers in the penalty box, and the Roughnecks will get the ball all the way up the floor.
I don't know why they get it way up there.
Chance for one quick one as Evans steps in, down the crease. Schattler, Richards makes a stop, and that will do it. As the Washington Stealth have temporary possession of first place in the West Division. Comcast Arena is happy. The Stealth will take it. 16-14 at home against the rival Roughnecks, who they'll see 2 times over the next 7 games to end the season. Take a quick break, wrap this thing up. Questions, comments, concerns to me on Twitter at Laxcaster, or email questions to bcjall@hotmail.com.
Game.
All right, I'm here with the nice player of the game, Ethan Iannucci. Four goals tonight. That was a huge win for you guys against a really good Calgary team. You know that's not the last you're going to see of them, and it's going to be a tough season series against those guys. Talk a little bit about the importance of getting this one tonight.
Yeah, like you said, they're a great team, and I think it was really huge for us to go up one game. 2 of our remaining 7 games now are against those guys, so it's nice to get a jump on them. Makes things a lot easier.
4 goals for you tonight. Could kind of tell pretty early on you were feeling it. When you are feeling it, how do you know? And is it kind of just seem like you're shooting on a much larger cage there, or what?
Yeah, it definitely feels a little bigger when you're on, but I think it's a product of everyone playing together, moving the ball around, cycling, and just being a good team. So
things got a little hairy at the end there. Things got a little closer than maybe you would have liked. But talk a little bit about this crowd and how they picked you guys up. They were in it to win it in that fourth quarter.
Yeah, no, that was awesome. Thank you, guys. That was awesome. The big stealth chant at the end that got us back in the game. We need a T-Rich to stay out of the penalty box, too, though.
I agree with that. Ethan Iannucci, the nice player of the game. Back over to you, Tall Tom.
This copyright telecast of the National Lacrosse League Incorporated may not be retransmitted, reproduced, or rebroadcast without the express written consent of the National Lacrosse League. Taking your online questions for 5 or 10 minutes here on Twitter at LaxCaster and on Hotmail at BCJALL@hotmail.com. It's Brad Scheller and Kevin Alexander in the rafters at Comcast Arena, still buzzing and reeling with the Stealth temporarily taking first place of the West Division, 16-15. And a little closer than they wanted to make it at the end with a 6-goal lead heading into the fourth quarter, Kevin, but they hang on.
Hang on is probably the correct word. Got in a little bit of trouble when T. Rich took a 5-minute high sticking penalty. He'd be better off staying in the crease, I'm thinking, after watching that. But, they got the 2 points, and that's the first most important thing. Lost a lot of composure at the end of that game. I didn't think that we had leadership on the floor. Guys got a little panicky. And you like to see, the veteran guys, they got to settle down, dig in, and show how to win games. And we did in the end. So you learn from it. It's an experience, and we'll make a positive out of that.
So what's the answer then? Next week, Minnesota comes into town, say the Stealth have a 6 or 5 goal lead heading into the fourth quarter. How do they keep it a nice, safe cushion and don't have to force yourself to fight back within dying seconds?
Well, we said earlier, if you look at the score sheet in any league, in any game in this league, the majority of the goals are scored on specialty teams, power plays. So you got to stay out of the penalty box. You got to work harder to do the little things correctly, and don't put yourself in a position where there is an opportunity for the referee to call a penalty on you. And usually most penalties come from laziness, guys not wanting to give that extra step, and some of them are just plain dumb. And you can't fix dumb, but you got to think about that kind of stuff. And the only way you let teams back into this game is sitting in the penalty box.
Nice round scoring for Washington tonight. Ethan Iannucci gets 4 goals. Reese Dutch gets 3 and 7. Who impressed you the most in the offensive zone?
Well, quite honestly, early I like Brett Bucktooth. He had the power play working. He had a lot of things happening. He had the ball moving, and his shooting was pretty good. Dutchie came through in the end, like Dutchie always comes through in the end, and Iannucci was strong as well. Realistically, not bad balance in the scoring. Cliff Smith got a big goal as well, so that's a good thing. But the only thing that concerns me is just a little bit of lack of composure at the end of the game. That game should have been salted away. It should have wound up being a laugher. There's no laughers in this league in reality, and we proved that again tonight. Nobody's ever really out of it.
Good plays again out of the Stealth rookies. They really brought a good crop into the NLL this year. Tim Henderson, another solid night on defense, who played some great shutdown lacrosse against Curtis Dixon and against Dane Doby. And I don't think they knew, because he's an unknown name in the league right now, the guys come into the offensive zone thinking, okay, this is a good matchup. This is a guy who doesn't have much box experience. He's a big player out of Army, but they don't know too much about him. They think, hey, this is a guy I can go one-on-one against, and then they come to regret their decision pretty quickly.
Well, in this league, you know what? It doesn't matter how good you are on paper. The players are going to try you, and you're going to get tried, and you're going to get tried more than once. And it's up to you. Particularly as a rookie, you got to prove yourself every night, and Tim is doing that. He's proving himself every night. He's a strong kid out there. He's got good feet. He's got good hands, and he's a smart guy. And they're going to keep trying him for a little while until they kind of figure out that I better go bark up another tree. But yeah, he's a solid defensive player.
Tyler Garrison doing much the same on the other end, and then he has great speed to get the ball up the floor in transition. He's a big part of that fast break. He gets the 16th goal of the game to sort of nail in the coffin goal. Every week so far this season, it's been a rookie of the week has been an offensive player. What does it take to get a guy like Garrison or Henderson noticed for rookie of the week on the back end?
Just keep playing like they're playing. You don't play looking at those kind of awards. You got to go out and do your job, whatever your job entails. If you happen to get lucky and pot a couple, life's good. But their job is mainly to kind of stop goals and get that ball up the floor. Initially, actually throughout the whole night, I wasn't really thrilled with our clearing. We got stuck with the ball a few times. We abandoned the ball carrier a few times. So that's something that we got to look at, because pressure in our defensive end when we're clearing, it takes away from the whole offense, because you get down with little or very little time or not enough time if you get it down at all. So we got to work on that a little bit.
Roughnecks were preaching all week that they wanted their team to be more disciplined, the dreaded D word. They take 7 penalties tonight to the Roughnecks. Does that look like a more composed Roughnecks team than the one that was on the floor against Minnesota and Toronto last weekend?
Maybe a little bit. I think you wouldn't say that if we didn't take quite as many penalties as we did, because the comparison wouldn't be as such. But you know what? They play a hard-nosed kind of game, and they're a confident, sometimes cocky bunch of guys. Think that they've got a lot of talent out there, so they're not afraid to gamble a little bit, take the odd penalty here and there. But you know what? There's a lot of good teams in this league with a lot of good power plays, and we keep harping over and over again that the goals are scored on the specialty teams more so than anything. So, you're rolling the dice if you want to sit in the sin bin.
Lewis Ratcliffe, 1 goal tonight, on pace for career lows goals-wise. He's coming into this game with 15 goals, on pace for 30, which will be a career low for Lewis Ratcliffe. Are we concerned about his game right now, or is so many other guys just stepping up that it really doesn't matter?
I don't care if Lewis hits a career low or not, as long as he's making the guys around him play better. And that's a difficult thing to do. I mean, Lewis has always been the go-to guy, and generally if he wasn't scoring, you weren't succeeding. It's wonderful when you got your go-to guy and he's helping out the rest of the offense, and you're succeeding. So that's a good thing, because he's going to have his 3, 4, 5 goal nights as well thrown in. And if we're winning and Lewis is getting 1 goal, life's good.
500 career points for Sean Evans tonight as he cracks that mark. He's still the leading goal scorer in the league right now with, let me just do my math correctly on tonight's game. Came into this game with 54 points, had 4 more tonight, so he's got 58 on the season to lead the league. 500 in his career as he surpasses that mark tonight. Talk about Sean Evans' game and maybe the key to longevity in the NLL.
I don't know. The key to longevity is not getting involved too much, it seems, with some guys. That's
not his story.
He's in the middle of it all the time, everywhere. He's a hard-nosed player. He's not a big guy, but he's fit. He goes 150% all the time. He's got tons and tons of skill. He can do it all. He can play D. He can play O. He can shoot, and he's smart. He knows lacrosse. He's got lacrosse sense, if you like. He knows where to be, when to be, and where the open guy is going to be. And like I said earlier, I've played with a few Evanses, and I've played against a few Evanses, because there's lots of them. And I've never seen a bad one, and he's just another one in the chain of Evanses. So, not enough superlatives you can say. He can beat you on his own. He's a tricky guy. He draws penalties. He shoots well. So, congrats to him, and he'll be around for quite a while yet.
Reese Dutch, career high 7 assists, and ties their career high with 10 points tonight to go with 8 last weekend, 18 points in his last 2 outings. Have you seen Reese Dutch play much better than he's playing the last couple weeks?
He's playing solidly, right? He's showing great leadership out there. When he's on the floor, he shows great leadership in the practices and the meetings, etc. With the letter on his shirt out there, he's taking that to heart. And he's playing well. Yeah, and he's another one of these guys. He's not a lot unlike Evans's. He's smart out there. He makes good decisions, and he gets the best out of his teammates.
Minnesota Swarm come in here next Sunday. They play tomorrow against Edmonton, second half of a home-and-home after falling to the Edmonton Rush on Friday night last night. They get a chance for redemption tomorrow, but then come in here, a very young, fast team that may or may be without their captain, heart and soul, Andrew Studer. He's been their best player so far this season and a heart and soul guy, but he was on crutches in that game in Edmonton and went in for some MRI checks today, I saw on Twitter. Don't know what his status is, but they might be without him when they come in here, but a young, fast, good-looking Minnesota team. What do you expect the Stealth to do against them next Sunday?
Well, same thing. We got to play smart, got to play hard the whole game. They're a good, solid team with Suter. You have to say they're a better team, but you know what happens when your leaders go down, the guys kind of buck up, and they all play a little bit harder for his sake. So you know what, they're going to be good. They're going to be solid. Win or lose tomorrow, it's a big game for them, just like it's a big game for us. These divisional games are huge because of the playoff ramifications and that sort of thing. So they're all games that you got to come ready to play for the full 60 minutes and play hard, play smart.
Final thoughts as we wrap this thing up and send it over to next Sunday.
Well, that's a big win. You know what? It still showed a little bit of character there because of holding on. Things could have got a little bit ugly there towards the end if you give up those kind of leads. But you know what? Held on, so it's something that you draw on down the road. Think about the mistakes you made when they got back in the game, and you don't want to make those in the future. And that's what good teams do. They hang on and they make the best of it. And next time, the holding on part of the game is not so difficult because you know what you're dealing with, and you know that feeling and what you need to do in the circumstance.
I'll wrap it up with some numbers. 0 shorthanded goals for Curtis Dixon. That's of note after the hat trick last week. He's still 1 away from tying a league record, 7 shorthanded goals in a season. Face-offs. The big story tonight was Jeff Snyder against his younger brother Bobby, and Jeff declared winner. 25 wins to Bobby's 9, 73% to Bobby's 26%. So older brother Jeff getting his work cut out for him there and taking that battle handedly. Sean Evans hits 500 career points tonight. Reese Dutch 3-7-10, a career high 10 points. So the veteran players doing what they do best, the best players in the world, continue to be the best players in the world, as Dutch is now at the top of the league lead again with 25 goals. Evans still on top of the league with 58 points. Marty Dinsdale, the junior from the Coquitlam Adirondacks, gets his first career NLL goal tonight in front of his friends and family because he's just from north of the border here, about an hour north of here. And Tyler Garrison, the rookie for the Washington Stealth, puts the nail in the coffin, the 16th and final goal of this game. So 30 goals scored, the Washington Stealth 16 and the Calgary Roughnecks 14. We will see you here next Sunday when the Minnesota Swarm come into town, but that's not it. We're usually the final game on the weekend here on a Saturday night, but a couple games tomorrow. Edmonton and Minnesota at 3 p.m. Eastern, and at 4 Eastern it's Philadelphia and Colorado. The Wings taking a big win tonight over the Rochester Nighthawks in the Battle of the Birds. So another great weekend of National Lacrosse League action. For the time being, the Washington Stealth are the #1 team in the West Division, but the way this league looks, anything can happen. This could all be garbage and scrapped and a whole different story by next weekend. So Kevin Alexander, the legendary Kevin Alexander, thanks for joining me tonight as we wrap these things up, and I'll see you next Sunday.
Yeah, it's been fun. We like it when we can get the win.
See you next Sunday, lacrosse fans. Good night from Comcast Arena in the beautiful Pacific Northwest. For Kevin Alexander, my name is Brad Challoner. We will talk to you next Sunday when the Minnesota Swarm come into Comcast Arena. Good night from the PNW.